Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 59 of Punching Up, Last Stand Media's weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Brad Ellison. Joining me are my two lovely co-hosts. This week we're going to start with Mr. Gene Park. Gene, how are you, my friend?
Good. We are recording on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's tax day.
Yes.
And I had to spend a lot of money paying taxes so the government can go bomb more countries.
That's
basically.
right. That's
Have
right.
fun with my thousands of dollars. Jesus.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, tax day always sucks ass. I hate it, man. No one likes paying taxes. It sucks, but they always get you, no matter what.
I mean, taxes are so tough. It's like they're supposed to benefit all of us. You know, we're paying to, you know, like I understand why people become Republicans or conservatives.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
It's like, where the fuck is my money going to? You know, like what the hell is this? You know, like you know, many of us are older now, but like if you remember your first job, like you hear about your annual salary, you're like, oh my god, I'm going to be making. You know, my first annual salary was $35,000, which is so little. And then when I actually got my paycheck, I was like, what is this? This only adds up to $22,000 a year. Like where's the rest of the money going?
Yeah.
To roads? The roads suck.
The roads still suck, yeah.
What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
like the roads are falling apart, you know?
Yeah.
The roads are falling apart. The kids can't read. Like, what the fuck am I paying for?
I know, man.
The kids can't fucking read. The roads, like we got cars falling through sinkholes in the roads. You know, the bridges are falling apart. You know, just a couple years ago that bridge in Baltimore just fell apart and just killed a bunch of people. You know.
Yeah.
But sure enough, we're killing all these people overseas. So that's we're seeing results there at least. You know.
That's right, and we're paying for it.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, welcome to our Nintendo show.
Yeah, welcome to our Nintendo show. Non-political news, by the way. So, yeah.
Micah Moriarty. Micah, how are you?
Brad, I'm doing exceptionally well. Okay.
Oh, exceptionally well. Wow.
Dude, all right. I got a new barbecue podcast that I discovered, and I have a 2-year backlog of episodes to catch up on. Okay.
Oh, man.
That's called Shooting the Q. It's Heath Riles and his wife Candace, and they have guests. It's excellent. I also bought a new brand of charcoal. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm really excited. I'm going to hopefully give that a spin on Thursday. But maybe the most important, and I told you guys about this in the staff chat, but we haven't done a show since then, is that a very lovely listener named Dustin sent me a copy of Chrono Trigger for a Nintendo DS.
Damn, and Dustin, where's my Chrono Trigger, man?
I have to tell you guys too, I said, I'll absolutely, he offered me the copy. I said, I'll buy that off you, name your price. He said, no. And I was like, dude, this game is increasing in rarity. Like, you know, name your price. I'll pay you for it. He refused payment. And then he said, if you'd like to pay the shipping, you can pay the shipping. And you know what? He tricked me because I said, absolutely. You just tell me how much it was. He never told me. And then I asked later. I was like, oh, how much was the shipping? Never replied. So wow. big shout out to Dustin. Real cool dude.
Yeah.
And I just super appreciate it. I can't wait to play this and talk about it. Be part of the moment now. Well, the moment was like 25 years ago, but I can't wait to finally experience it and be able to talk about it.
You're going to be playing a legendary video game that me and Gene love a lot. Colin likes it too. So what did he think about when he saw you get it?
Oh, dude, he was like, are you kidding me? You know, just because it just is. I mean, I am always blown away by how kind the listeners are.
Yeah.
Because it truly is. It's like, I'll be like, what do you want for it? Name your price. And they'll say no. And it just always blows me away. And I just want to say how much I appreciate it, because it's anything that people decide to send us just out of the kindness of their hearts, whether it is those really good Pokemon gummies that I was sent from our listener who had a trip to Japan, or it's a game or a knickknack. It does mean a lot. I also wanted to show off because it's complete. The manual's in there
complete
too.
in box. Very nice.
That's why I was like, bro, are you? And I told him flat out, I said, you want this back? I'll send it back to you anytime. I said, you can treat this like a library loan. If you ever want this back in your collection, I was like, I'm never going to sell it. It's going to be with me till I die. So, but yeah, I'm just blown away by that.
That's awesome. Do you guys still own a DS?
I never had one. The 3DS was my first ever in the console, that variety of consoles. The 3DS was the first one I owned, the pink one, and still the same one.
Yeah,
so I never actually had a DS.
Gotcha. Gene, did you ever have one?
I never had one too.
I
only had a 3DS.
Gotcha.
Skipped the whole DS generation.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, you weren't playing games a lot around then. Dang. I used to have a DS Lite and I loved it. I think I sold it though, unfortunately. I almost bought a new one this weekend because I was looking at them. I'm like, oh man, I kind of want a DS. And of course, I was talking to Dustin about it. So here we go again. Went down
Dustin
the 3DS.
will tell you, go for it.
Yeah, went down the 3DS rabbit hole. Now we're going to go down the DS one because I love the DS. There's so many great games on there.
Well, that's been the fun part of. I played a lot of 3DS back in the day, but it has been fun now that I have a little more disposable income and I'm not a broke college kid. It has been fun to hunt down some games that I missed. It's been nice to hunt down some games I missed, and I still won't pay anything crazy. Like I'm not paying $100 for Coda Princess, right? But finding Hey Pikmin at GameStop for under $30, hell yeah, dude, I'll try it out. Like
nice.
It's been cool to kind of find some of these games in the wild and check them out.
Yeah, it's been so fun for me, Micah, to see you kind of go through a lot of these games for the first time. Like I'm so excited to hear what you think about Chrono Trigger. And you're going through Zelda games. It's so fun. I love it.
I gotta get back to the Zeldas because I have Skyward Sword and Majora's Mask on deck to play, and of course Nintendo Switch Online still has a couple more I haven't played. Yeah. And Wind Waker is going to be coming to the GameCube Online, so I got to get back the mix with the Zeldas as well.
Yeah, but you already watched the Game Grumps play it, so
I did watch them play Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, and my roommate played Wind Waker as well back in the day when it was on Wii U. So I've seen that one a couple times.
All right, guys, let's start with a little warm-up question here from Eugene Aka. Greetings and salutations. Jesus. I vividly recall the launch of the Wii and going all out by spending nearly $1,000 on the console, a handful of games, and some accessories. What games and or accessories are you all planning to grab for the Nintendo Switch 2 launch in a few months? I'll hang myself and listen now. Damn. This is truly our audience.
I wasn't expecting that. I pre-read the document, but I just I completely missed that line. I gave it a skim as I always do, but I missed that.
Yeah. All right, Micah. Switch 2. What are you planning on buying with everything? What's the plan?
Well, so funny enough, okay, one thing I already ordered. I did order a copy of Breath of the Wild from PlayAsia.
Oh, okay.
Because it was the cheapest place to get it for Switch 1.
How much was it?
However, it was like $52.
Oh, okay.
Like Amazon, I think, had it for like $54. It was literally just like marginally. Here's the thing. Okay. I love the Hakuki games. They're these series of visual novels about samurai. All right. Cool. For the first time, they are localizing one of the older ones where instead of being samurai, they're high schoolers. And I was like, I got to buy this.
Of course.
I don't know when it comes out, though. And PlayAsia, if you know, holds all your items until your pre-order ships. So I might not get that copy of Breath of the Wild for a while. It's supposed to come out this year, but we don't have a release date yet. So anyways, that's besides the point. So I already ordered that. And if it got here in time, I was just going to play it on Switch 1 just to fuck with you guys, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Oh my God, that would piss me off.
I still might. Close. But so Breath of the Wild, I already got.
Okay.
Donkey Kong is a must buy. Mm-hmm. I'm getting Bonanza for sure. I might get one Pro Controller because I have two Pro Controllers. One of them is starting to have not stick drift, but like button lag. Like I'll press A and it like doesn't work sometimes. Sure. I noticed it distinctly in certain games and I was just like, I'm tapping this button multiple times. It's just not working. So I switched to the other one and it was flawless. So I might pick up one of the new Pro controllers just to have two at all times. But otherwise, man, like I don't see myself buying a ton else. Like the amiibo they announced, I'm not interested in. And then we're kind of just waiting for more stuff to come out.
Sure.
Like Donkey Kong, I'm going to try and get the Mario Kart bundle to save money on that. That's number one. Is like if I can't get the bundle, I'm really torn about paying that much for Mario Kart simply for myself.
Right?
Am I going to get my money's worth?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the plan.
Totally. Okay, Gene, what about you, man? What are you planning to pick up?
I mean, I'm getting everything for free. Come on, guys.
That's true. That's true, I guess. I guess they would send you everything.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely try to buy it at launch if I wasn't in the position I'm in now.
Right.
I would not get the camera. I'll probably just try to get every game. For sure, Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun because it'll also have crossplay, so I can just like load up the game on PC. Load up a perfect save to start off on the Switch and just continue on the Switch from there. So that'll just be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
But yeah, I don't know if I don't know what else to get. I mean, I'll probably get a grip, like from Skull Candy or whatever.
Oh yeah,
one of the third party makers, because the Switch itself is just thin. I even asked the developers during our interview the other week. I was like, the Steam Deck is bigger, but like it's got a good grip on it, So do you guys consider making it bigger and thicker and have more ergonomics? And they were like, no. they're like if we made the Switch bigger, people will ask, why the fuck is the Switch bigger?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's that. So it's like, okay, well, so it doesn't have any grips. It's like a flat tablet like device still, and that doesn't feel good on the hands. So I'll probably just get a grip for it. That'll be one of my priorities for sure.
Yeah, cool. For me,
and that Pro controller for sure too with the back buttons.
Yeah.
I have been begging for a standardized regular controller with back buttons. Which is tough because like my buddy Wooly over at Casa Super Beast, when he plays games, he grips the controllers pretty tight. So that's a problem because he will always press the back buttons accidentally. And I get that. Like if you're the kind of person that just can't help but just like tighten up your fist when you're playing, then that's
me.
rough.
Yeah, like I'd be curious how I'll do. I've never like owned a controller that had back paddles or buttons, and I am just like Colin and I, for example, playing that breakout game for the co-op trophy he wanted, and I was like so tense. I'm like white knuckling the controller because it's anxiety inducing. Like those little arcade games give me so much anxiety. But it's like, oh yeah, would I be pressing buttons back there? And does that matter for certain games? Would it do anything? I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like that, but I can see some people just tightening up a little bit or whatever. So, Colin doesn't like those back buttons either, which is so strange. But I think,
really? I love them.
Yeah, I love them. I think people who want to play first person shooters love them because I love them for that. To be able to reload without ever having to lift your thumb off the right thumbstick. You can just reload anytime as you're moving around, or jump and shoot at the same time. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like the Switch 2 will be the best place to play Fortnite because all the stupid kids will be trying to play it, mobile and not hardwired. And I'll be at home, my 43-year-old ass at home, hardwired into my Switch 2 with Ethernet cable with that Pro controller going, just jumping and shooting all these kids around.
All my wins are on Switch. All my Fortnite wins are on Switch.
Yeah,
all right. Just demolishing children.
Me too. It's the best play to play Fortnite if you want to win. Like the Switch players are awful. So
yeah, that's true. That is true.
You can get those battle victory royales pretty easily there for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Brad. Go ahead. I was going to call you Dustin.
Oh, it's okay. For me, I'm definitely gonna try to get the Mario Kart bundle. Absolutely. If I don't get the bundle, I'll just buy Mario Kart as it is because I love Mario Kart. I'm gonna get both the Zeldas, of course, because I'm an idiot and I love Zelda, so I will buy those. I don't know about physical yet, though, so I got to think about that. I was going to say, if I buy physical, Mike, I'll just send you mine, but I don't know if I want to do physical yet on both of those. I'll buy Welcome Tour just for the memes and to cover it for $10. We'll do it. I'll buy the Piranha Plant camera. I'm just kidding. I'm not buying that, Micah.
Come on, Brad. But think of how cute it'll be in the background next to that little slime. All right,
480p? Dog
Yeah.
shit. If it was 1080p, I would consider it.
How funny though would it be if we all three of us got those cameras and like used them for an episode?
Yeah, that's what we. Like, we need the Piranha Plant one. We need it to be as terrible as possible. That one
specifically.
Exactly.
Because we thought about that already, but now it's like truly potato cam.
Wait, so is the regular camera not 480p, but the Piranha Plant
regular one is 1080p, I believe.
The regular one is 1080p,
but
the Piranha Plant one is 480p.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the cost of being a Piranha Plant.
That's right.
It's crazy. It's like, especially, it's surprising because I think that's made by Hori, right? And I have some of their accessories and they're nice. They had the D-pad Joy-Con for Switch. I have that and it's high quality. I have like the Switch stand. Like their accessories are usually quite nice for the price that you pay. So because even like the D-pad controller is also like translucent, and I'm like, sweet, like this is a nice little Joy-Con. And it shocks me that they're putting out this camera. And of course, though, the people this is probably aimed at aren't even going to read it or care. Like, grandma's going to see that and be like, oh, Jimmy will love this. Like, and she doesn't know what that means. And neither does Jimmy. So
exactly. I really hope they send Gene Dragon Drive in the future because I don't want to play that. I don't want to play it.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that'd be good if they send it to Gene. Please do that, Nintendo.
No, I hope they send it to Micah. I don't want to play it either. It's an interesting concept, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And to listeners, I'm not making fun of people who are in wheelchairs. Obviously,
no, we're
I'm
not.
Just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying, like this is a game for people in wheelchairs. It's a wild concept,
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's just to say, like, yeah, if they had Burn Ward Simulator, I wouldn't want to play that either because probably being in a burn ward would suck. Okay,
so that could be a cool game, maybe.
I don't know if being a burn patient would be cool.
Phantom Pain.
Trauma Center's fun. Maybe if it's like an evolution of Trauma Center, yeah.
Oh, Trauma Center, yeah. Atlas game.
Yeah.
Ooh, Trauma Center with the mouse controls though. That'll be so
Hopefully
good.
Bring it back. That'd be sick.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for the mouse. That's one thing I forgot to mention, that Rydao remastered game. I already ordered that for original Switch. It does look like it has a Switch 2 case as well, but I already ordered it. So
okay.
I'm not fiddling with that.
I might get Bravely Default also on Switch 2. I did like Bravely Default.
Yeah, your clip of immediately recognizing Bravely Default.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so there's a clip of reactors and content creators seeing the black-haired girl in a nice dress and be like, "Oh my god, it's Final Fantasy 9!" And then them realizing, "Oh, it's not Final Fantasy 9 at all. I don't even know what this is," or "Oh, this is Bravely Default." And there's a whole discourse about people will be like, look at all these fake RPG fans who don't even know anything besides Final Fantasy or whatever, which, that's kind of mean,
it is.
Especially considering like there's a lot of Final Fantasy 9 rumors going around. And so Brad had to flex on all of us and post a clip of him being, "Oh, it's Bravely Default."
Like immediately,
like barely a millisecond, where it's just like, oh, it's very Bravely Default. Okay,
yeah,
like super quick, like the fastest realization ever.
Yeah, I said I was a true gamer, and they're all fake gamers.
Brad would recognize that hideous art style anywhere. So.
Yeah, I would. And I did.
Yeah,
they're cute. All right, Micah.
I don't. That's one thing I didn't like about Bravely Second is the one on 3DS. I think that I just. It was a cool little game, but I hated how they looked the whole time.
They don't have feet. They don't have feet. It's tough.
No, and they're very hippie. Like they're just weirdly shaped.
Yeah.
Like like the big hips. I'm just like, they're weird.
That's not what I thought you meant. Okay.
Oh no, not like hippies, but like they're just they're little beans.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Mighty Beans?
Yes.
Okay, hell yeah. I had one Mighty Bean as a child. They kind of remind me of those.
Yeah. Well, the characters in I Am Setsuna don't have feet either. But you like
No,
that
but
game.
they're not shaped all weird.
3D.
Yes,
Like,
they are. They are shaped
No.
weird. They're not little
No,
beans, but they
no.
are shaped weird. They got big heads and stuff.
Oh yeah, but like Setsuna's so cute. You seen her and Kier, the little boy. Oh my god, they're
just
so cute.
A bigot to Bravely Default characters.
It's not just that though. There's another game they made that I didn't want to play. Is it The Alliance Alive? That those characters look too weird too. And I was like, I'm not playing that either.
Alliance Alive. I don't know.
I'm thinking of some.
Oh yeah, those kind of look similar.
Yeah,
Sure,
I didn't
I
like
can see
that
that.
either. That was
Okay.
available at GameStop for 3DS, and I was like, I'm not buying this. They look weird.
Mikey discriminates against no feet and
I
bean
discriminate against art style heavily. Like, because it's just a matter of, do you want to look at this for so long?
Yeah,
Like I try not to let it get in the way, but sometimes it's too much.
I get it.
It makes sense to me. I mentioned it before, but I don't like Hollow Knight because of the art style. I think it's a good game. I just don't like the art style. So, when you have to look at that for the whole game, it's tough. But a lot of people like the art style of Hollow Knight, obviously. I'm not saying that it's like objectively bad, just like Bravely Default doesn't look objectively bad. It just looks a little weird to some people.
Yeah,
So
we all got
Exactly.
certain things like that. Yeah, that was like me with Xenoblade on Wii. I thought it was the ugliest game I've ever played. And I couldn't get very far in it. And the faces were so bad before. I'm glad they've changed them.
You know what? I was kind of defensive about the old Wii faces, Brad, because I thought that they had like a vagrant story, like charm to it, because they're like a little rough. And then so I went back to watch the old cutscenes, and like, yeah, they still have that like rustic charm to it. But a lot of the faces do look fucking like ghoulish, though. Like, they look really scary.
Characters still look better than that.
They look like Majora's masks, like the horrible ones. Like sometimes, like it's pretty bad. So
yeah, it's like Alpha Man going, "It's ride time." Yeah, it's like I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, Ryan looks especially fucked up for sure.
He looks fucked up,
and Fiora too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fiora's
supposed to be cutie. She's supposed
what
to be
a
a
dog.
cutie pie.
Yeah, they fucked her up before.
Yeah, she looks like the Zora mask from Majora's Mask. Like that's a crazy thing.
That's awesome. Oh man. Okay. Speaking of Zelda, let's stick with that. Here in a very non-surprising move for me from Nintendo, Breath of the Wild 2 Switch version is not coming with the DLC. So Nintendo PR told IGN that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition does not include The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild expansion pass DLC. The DLC is available as a separate purchase. So there's 2 DLCs it came with, which is Trial of the Master Sword and I forgot what the second one's called. But anyways, there are 2 DLCs. It's just like, why? You're charging $70 already for this thing if you buy it brand new. Not with the upgrade. But it's like, man, you're going to make... How much is the DLC going to be here? Is it going to be $20 or $30? Am I going to have to spend $90 on Breath of the Wild with the DLC?
No, you don't have to.
Of course I don't have to. But yeah, I don't know if I would buy the DLC because I don't plan on playing Breath of the Wild soon. So maybe, but it's just like, man, guys, why can't you just include it, dude? Why we got to do this, Nintendo, every time? It feels like every other company, it's like, hey, we're re-releasing the game, here's DLC with it, kind of thing like that. Not Nintendo, though. And I get it. Nintendo keeps the value of their games and all that stuff, but it's just like, how much do you got to bend me over and just fuck me over like this? Like, how much do you got to do? When is enough, Nintendo?
Yeah, it's never enough. I did look. Okay, the expansion pass is the Master Trials and the Champions Ballad.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
But no, Brad, like, it would be very nice for them to include it, but they're like, but the other people paid for it, and they're like, and we worked on it.
Yeah, we worked on it. Yeah,
this truly is just very, very like clear messaging on the culture right now. Is that we worked on this, so you shall pay for it.
Yeah,
no discount.
Again, yeah, it's like, all right, man. I guess
it could even be like, I don't know. They could have given you like it'll be $10 off because the expansion pass is still $19.99.
Okay,
so they could have even given you a few bucks. I don't know. It's
could have thrown us a bone. But yeah, I guess we're all just kind of like numb to it at this point. Gene, what do you think about this? The DLC not coming with the Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild.
This is a bummer entirely for me, besides the price point. And actually, Micah brings up a interesting perspective. Like they probably do feel like that it's like other people bought it, so it's only fair that you buy it now. Like just because you didn't buy it 5 years ago doesn't mean that you can't buy it now.
Right.
That's probably that probably is very close to their thinking. But this sucks because it's the Master Sword DLC, right?
Yeah.
This was the only way you can actually, and I'm getting very niche in terms of like playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, but the DLC was the only way you can actually recharge your Master Sword independently of just waiting for it to recharge by itself. So the Master Sword, you can use it about like, I don't know, 50 times, or I forget exactly how many times you can swing it, right? But after that, it explodes just like every other weapon in the game, and you can't use it for a good like 10 minutes, I think. You have to wait until it recharges. And that can be kind of annoying, especially since you just want to use like a sword. Like it kind of sucks that the Master Sword just keeps like dying or whatever. So you can actually go back to the Master Sword I don't know, hole, I guess.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word. I haven't really thought of it. The stand or whatever in the Lost Forest. And you can just go enter the Master Sword, the trials, and then exit, and then boom, your sword is replenished right away. So it's a fun way to kind of make sure that you're always topped off on your sword and you never lose that. And now that's gone. And also, that was once you finish the DLC, you increase the power of the sword. It lasts longer. It hits harder. All that stuff is great. And it's too bad that's just not part of the base game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I really like the DLC, like the trials too. I thought they were super fun.
They were fun. I loved them.
Pretty challenging, but they were really fun. I had a good time.
They were tough. They were real tough. I remember they were some of the later ones were a pain in the ass to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so if people don't know,
Mike, definitely don't try these.
Oh yeah, Mike, you're gonna.
Yeah, that shit sucks. Like I don't even want to play it right now. So that's why it's like, okay, well, it's not part. The DLC is not included, but they better like respect my save that I have, because I definitely don't want to fucking play that shit again.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I think it should all transfer over. I hope, because
I hope so.
Yeah, I have all that shit unlocked.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of a shame, but it's kind of what we expect, I guess. It's just the way it is. Let's see here. This is from the champ. Hey, cock punchers. Damn. How do you feel about Nintendo not including Breath of the Wild DLC in the Switch 2 version? So we did talk about that. I personally don't care because I already own the game and the DLC. I would assume most of the people complaining about it already own the game or had no intention of buying Breath of the Wild at this point, but I don't know. I guess people are upset that an 8-year-old game is still full price. Again, I have no problem with it. I'm not defending Nintendo, but my Switch library is lacking when compared to my PS library, and it's a good thing. When buying a Switch game, I have to commit to the game since it's full price. Games that go on sale for like $10, I buy the game. I may play it for an hour or so, then it goes into my backlog, never to be played. With games on my Switch, I don't have a backlog. I'm more careful with my spending. It's just funny. I was thinking about this. When they re-released The Last of Us or whatever, how many times they do that? What if they're just like, you know what? This doesn't come with Left Behind. You got to buy that separate. People would fucking lose their minds if that happened. But I guess it's just like we're so used to Nintendo doing it.
But hey, but they removed the multiplayer from Last of Us.
That's true. Yes, you're right. That's true. That's true, Gene.
So, look, as a Last of Us fan, like this whole Last of Us HBO season has reminded me. Oh yeah, I actually fucking love the Last of Us. Like I love the lore. I love So I'm salty about. I'm one of those people still salty about having no factions DLC. Or at all, and that was removed from Last of Us. So there is that. But yeah, to remove Left Behind would be fucked up too.
Yeah. All right, let's stick with Zelda right here. So we got some info on the Zelda app that's going to be launching with the game. On the Nintendo Switch app, the Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will be able to interact with a new feature called Zelda Notes, which requires an NSO account to use. Zelda Notes include 9 main features. First, we got navigation. Helps you locate key items like Korok seeds and shrines. Micah, if you get lost, it can tell you where to go.
I'm on board.
Yeah, this one is interesting to me. Voice memories. Discover new lore narrated by Princess Zelda scattered across Hyrule. Tears of the Kingdom adds even more voice lore from King Rauru, Micah,
Oh,
and
God.
Master Koga.
No,
Sorry.
thanks.
I love Master Koga, so I'm happy about that. This is really interesting to me, but annoying at the same time. It's going to have my goddamn phone out. Second screen Xbox, circa Xbox One right here. And Zelda telling me more lore, which is awesome. But just having to do it on my phone is like
Yeah,
super annoying.
that sucks. It really could just be like, why can't it just be that the Switch 2 version of the game has the added lore, the added voice memos?
Yeah.
You're gonna make me use the app to get those. Like, it's one thing to just like, yeah, we're locking that on the Switch 2 version, but come on, man.
Yeah. And there's a lot. I just looked at it, like some of the icons and they're showing how many there are. There's quite a lot. So all you lore heads like me, I'll be definitely checking out, but I'll be pissed off doing it. Because I'm going to have my phone out. I don't want to do that.
This is why the DLC is not included, because I had to pay for all those extra voice lines. So
That's right. Yeah, you're right, Micah. Okay, then we got auto build sharing. In Tears of the Kingdom, you can easily share and download custom built vehicles with other players. This is a really cool feature. I love this a lot. People have made some insane things in Tears of the Kingdom, like a robot with like a flaming dick burning stuff up. I'm not kidding, by the way. So you're going to be able to easily share and download other people's creations. This is good for Micah whenever you get to Tears of the Kingdom eventually, because I know you're not really thrilled about building stuff like that. So you can just maybe Aaron will put something up there from Game Grumps Micah for you, so you can just use that.
They'll all be booby trapped, probably. There'll be like a bomb hidden in it. You're like riding down the road and it just explodes.
That'd be cool. And if you build stuff Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of it is so OP, you can skip over a lot of stuff, particularly in dungeons. So it's a very strange thing.
The hover bike.
The hover bike, yep. The hover bike is OP.
Yeah, all you need, Micah, is yeah, you're having so much anxiety over Tears of the Kingdom, but all you need is 2 fans and like a little controller thing. Just stick those 3 things together, you get a hover bike that makes the entire game pointless. You just skip all the puzzles.
Just skip the dungeon.
All right.
Skip it.
I mean, truly, this is mostly because I watched Aaron play it.
Yeah,
no offense to Aaron, but he spent 20 minutes trying to build like a hot air balloon and it like broke apart in midair. Like
Aaron makes everything look hard because it's entertaining, but if you just put on 3 things, 2 fans and a little control stick, which costs like very, very little like energy to make or whatever, and Tears, I'm forgetting how like what the jargon is for Tears of the Kingdom, but it's super cheap to make. And you can just skip every puzzle. You're like, oh, I don't get this puzzle. Well, why don't I just make this hover bike and just fly over it? That's a game.
All
the whole dungeon is just pointless because you can just fly around a dungeon and just like, oh, well, why don't I just fly to the Switch and then hit it? You know, it's crazy.
Well, actually, because I told you I ordered Breath of the Wild. I didn't even mention that. I realized I said, wait, Colin had this game. Like, well, where's Colin's copy? And I found the case and the game is gone. And I'm pretty sure that he gave it to Ramon, but he doesn't remember. So it could be somewhere in the house, but like we have no idea. I'm 90% sure though that like Ramon has it. But I was like, all right, well, I'll just get it from PlayAsia because it's cheap. But Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know still. I got to try Breath of the Wild first. Wait, we're going to start there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you'll get more context and everything like that, so that's cool. Number 4 we got here is item sharing. Exchange items such as weapons, food, and materials with other players. There you go, Micah. They're just like making this game so much easier for you. They're just giving you everything if you want it, Micah.
I'm going to be texting you, Brad, like every 5 seconds. Like, I need corn.
I ain't giving you shit. You got to earn it like I did.
I need carrot for soup.
So many people in the audience are probably going to be giving you stuff, so don't even worry about it. They'll be giving you like the best weapons right out the gate of the game. It's going to be ridiculous. Photo Studio, customize and capture your in-game screenshots. I actually think this one's kind of cool. My play data. View detailed stats like playtime, enemies defeated, weapons collected, Zonai abilities used, and energy cells consumed. You can also earn Earn in-game medals based on your records. So here's our achievement kind of thing like that. Thanks, Nintendo.
And it's not even in the game, it's in the phone.
Yeah, it's in the fucking
This is all in the
phone.
phone app.
It's in the phone app, dude. Yeah.
Again,
They're just slapping you in the face.
Again,
Constantly.
like it's probably like what we said last week or whatever, that it's not about, like, they're clearly it's not about the philosophy of how achievements affect the game design or whatever, right? They're fucking doing it here.
I know, yeah.
Here it is.
They just don't want to have the server costs to have achievements, like keep track of achievements across like people's histories, like.
Oh, dude, and like I have to address a couple Patreon comments that were basically blaming Gene and I for them not having achievements. Like they were essentially like one dude was basically like, just because you don't want achievements, the rest of us can't have them. And it's like, I don't fucking work there. I didn't make this decision. I didn't write to Miyamoto and say if you put achievements on there.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's like, bro, I don't work there. Like no, I don't want them, but I don't make the decisions. You're acting like this is my fault. Like,
you know what? It is your fault, Micah. That's the reason we're not getting them. I know Nintendo's listening to us. They heard you, Micah.
They were like that nice little black lady. She doesn't want them.
She doesn't want them, so we're not going to do them.
Yeah. She's part of the broader audience, right? The modern audience. Audience, Micah.
Yeah, they're appealing to the modern audience.
That's what we're going to call her, modern audience. Micah.
It's Micah, dude. Oh, that's so funny.
That's so fucked up. But like, I feel bad even saying that.
But I think seeing all these stats is really cool. Like weapons collected. Like, you remember, Gene, they added the update where you could like see where you've gone throughout Hyrule. Your path. I loved that. It was so sick. So I'm really happy about this. Global play data. Compare your gameplay stats with players around the world. That'll be fun. I'll check that out.
That could be fun, yeah.
Here we go. Daily bonuses. Roll for a daily reward, including meals, energy charges, or equipment repairs. So
Fuck
everyone,
off, dude. Equipment repairs.
There's like some gotcha system in the game now, and everyone complaining about repairs. You got to roll for it once a day, so you better get lucky. And
and it only happens like once a day for one weapon per day.
You only have a guaranteed chance. It's like a slot machine. I saw it, and it's just like, you better hope you land on it.
That sucks. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's why, again, I'm glad I have my Nintendo Switch OLED, where I can raw dog Zelda 1.0 with the Infinite Master Sword, which I still have on my regular Switch to save too for Tears of the Kingdom too. That still works.
Don't worry, guys. When you actually play the game, you have weapons and materials coming out of the ass, so it doesn't matter. Stuff breaks. You're fine.
I'm just gonna run around cooking stuff and not fight any enemies and not do any puzzles. I'm just gonna run around Chef Link. That's all I want to be.
Sure, yeah.
Do you get to name him? I get to name him myself?
No.
This is bullshit.
You get to name your horse. Well, because they actually call him Link with voice acting in the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is why voice acting sucks, all right? Like, we don't want this. If I can't name him Steve,
modern
audience,
Micah. That's not what we want.
No, bro, like every Zelda game I played so far, and I get to name him something stupid, all right?
You can name your horse.
Bunt is the best one.
You can name horses.
A horse deserves a proper name. They're regal creatures.
Yeah, mine was named Walter.
Like in Red Dead, I had Mr. Belvedere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I also had Buttercup. She was great. She got hit by a train.
Damn.
No, I'm thinking of Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown got hit by a train. Buttercup got stolen by Nigel West Dickens. So
Nigel. And of course, the last thing is Amiibo scan. Breath of the Wild had a ton of Amiibo stuff you could do to get outfits, which I hated, but I still got them all. Thankfully, Tears of the Kingdom fixed that.
Why can't you just say no, Brad? Like,
because they put the classic Zelda outfits in the game. I want that shit. When they have the classic green tunic, I want that shit. Immediately. They have like all the Link's tunics. Yes, I want that shit.
You could just wear a green shirt and brown pants in real life, Brad. Like, it's not...
Micah, you don't understand anything.
I'm just trying to help.
You don't understand anything, Micah. All right. That's it for Zelda, though. Next thing we got right here is Toys for Bob. You guys know who did like Crash, some of the Crash games, like Crash 4, I believe they did. They are interested in bringing back Banjo Kazooie. This article I have is from GameStop, and I'm just going to read this clip from it, or this little section from it. In a recent interview with Canadian Guy A, that's a hilarious website or whatever that is, publication, which was then reported by Windows Central, Jan discussed Toys for Bob's upcoming projects. On top of seemingly teasing a new entry in the Spyro the Dragon series, Jan expressed the team's desire to work with Xbox in bringing back the dynamic bird and bear duo Banjo Kazooie. Quote, one company we like to work with is one we've already working with, Team Xbox. They've been a great partner, and they also have a very interesting roster of characters that Toys for Bob could have a lot of fun with. The honey bear is the first one that comes to mind. I think we can all agree Banjo's been hibernating long enough, right? Jan said. Yes, this is music to my ears. I've been wanting this bear and bird to come back forever. When they did, it was an abomination and Banjo Kazooie nuts and bolts. But if we're actually getting Banjo and Kazooie back, proper 3D platform from Toys for Bob, who I think is actually a great fit for these two to come back, I'd be very happy about this. Gene, you got any thoughts about this?
No, not really. Not really a Banjo guy. You know, I do like Spyro. I do like me some Spyro.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not like Dustin or a lot of other people who are like clamoring for like the old buddy games back, the old buddy platform games back.
Is Dustin? I feel like I'm the only person clamoring for that shit at this company, dude.
Well, Dustin likes what is that?
Tomba.
Tomba, yeah. He was desperate for Tomba to come back, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think I have like an old school platformer that I really really want to see back. Besides, like maybe like Maximo from like Ghouls and Ghosts. Like I love that dude.
From PS2.
Yeah, but that was like more of an action game than a platformer game, right? So like in terms of like the old mascot platformer games, I'm not really like excited to like Banjo. I played Banjo, but like I didn't love it, like Donkey Kong Bonanza. I was like, damn, it's been a really long time, but I wasn't like out of my mind for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Other than like Mario or Astrobot, basically, I think. Which is crazy because Astrobot is new, but I do like Astrobot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like Crash Bandicoot. Like I didn't even play Crash 4. I mean I did play it, but I wasn't that interested in finishing it because it's like, whatever. Sure. So
gotcha. Okay.
I can take it or leave it. I'll be very happy for people. And these are great games. So I can take it or leave it. Basically, that's how I feel.
Be happy for me, Micah. What do you think about this? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's not something I'd be interested in. I'm curious, Brad, though, like what's wrong with Nuts and Bolts? Everyone says how horrible that game is. Like, what's wrong with it?
So Banjo Kazooie 1 and 2 are 3D platformer collectathons. Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is like, hey, you remember all that fun platforming you like to do in those past Banjo Kazooie games? Guess what? It's all gone. Now you're gonna build really shitty, rickety vehicles and drive around and race people.
That's the game?
Yes.
Oh my, because I was like, I mean, in my head, when people said how bad it was, I never looked into it, but I was like, what, did they mess up the physics or something? Is it just not fun? Or the levels just like repetitive? Like you're telling me it's not even a platformer anymore?
No, it's not.
They just made a new game with with them in it.
Like you can walk around, but like there's no point in doing that. You just build like a vehicle to get an objective. Here, move this giant egg around. Let's race this Jinjo. It's like, okay, these levels are huge and boring now. Thanks. Appreciate that. People are like, oh, you just don't like it because it's a Banjo Kazooie game. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's why I don't like it. Because they ruined Banjo Kazooie.
No, dude, like that's the entire point. See, what I like about this interview snippet is we are hearing very clearly from the developer that they want to make this.
Yeah.
It is in Microsoft's court to do this or not. It's up to them to say, hey, maybe we should revive a franchise. Maybe we should focus on making a popular game. Because as much as I love Xbox, I am baffled by some of the things they've done these last few years. I cannot believe it's been 6 years since the last Gears entry. Like, what the hell are you doing over there? So the biggest like takeaway for this, like for me, is just saying the developer wants to make this. They simply need your permission. Will you grant it? And we will kind of get an insight into what the hell Microsoft is planning next, if they bring back a beloved series or not, when they have a developer willing and ready to make this fucking thing.
Who's like a good developer for it too, I think. So especially because I don't think Rare's going to do it. And I mean, Rare's a different company since then. So they're too busy figuring out whatever that other game they're making is called. Not Sea of Thieves. What was it called? Everwild, I think it was called. Figuring out what that game is. So yeah, but bring the bear and bird back and let it be a proper 3D platformer, for God's sakes. Don't get cute with it.
Because otherwise all you got is ukulele.
Yeah.
You have this.
Yeah.
Have somebody else make the game in spirit of it.
I do like how Banjo has become the Bloodborne of Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Yeah, basically.
That's true. It has, sadly.
Yeah. They're like, dude, you have this. What are you doing?
You have this. You have
like,
it.
Yeah, I'm not a Banjo fan, but it's like, dude, what are you doing though? You know, like it's crazy.
It is like every time I think about Gears of War and I get so angry because I just don't understand. I just don't understand how you let such a big franchise sit in the back seat for 6 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we don't, Emergence Day will be the next one. We left 5 on a cliffhanger, so we still don't know when we're actually going to get the next, like, but the sequel to that.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, your biggest franchise, like, well, it's probably second biggest next to Halo, okay? But like one of your biggest, like, core franchises, and you're just letting it rot in a dumpster, basically. Because I would have bought, you could have released 2 Gears games in this time. I would have bought them both, played them both. Okay. Like it's just nonsense to me, the direction that they're going in some ways. I'm not trying to make this all about Xbox, but if they don't capitalize on this, they're fools.
Yeah.
Because you got to do something.
Yeah.
You know, like, because as a fan, I am not super interested in the recent exclusives. Like, I'm not knocking it, but it's like, I have no interest in Indiana Jones. I've never seen it. I'm not interested in South of Midnight. I didn't like what I saw. Like, I didn't want to play Avowed. Like, you're not selling me on a lot of these games. And then you have like classic titles that you just let it fuck off, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man, if you're not drawing people in with all the new shit, maybe you make a game that you're known for and that people really love.
Yeah.
You would think, Micah. You would think.
Yeah. I have hope for Banjo also because I think Astrobot did so well last year and got a lot of accolades and stuff and attention.
It got a lot of awards, man.
So maybe they're like, okay, maybe it's a good time to bring it back. So thank you, Astrobot. We're just making that headcanon now. Astrobot save platformers.
I mean, it's the hypnotism in the song.
Goes back to like how bad Microsoft is in managing IP. You know, like it just goes to show that it's another reminder that Microsoft is not an entertainment company. They are a tech software company. You know.
Yeah.
They don't know how to manage stories and talent and IP and like, oh, we should capitalize on this and we should capitalize on that. And they're like, no, we're just, you know, it's just random. You know.
Yeah. Does feel random at times.
What makes the most money? That's about it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, because I think back to certain things too, where it's like we've talked about previously, when maybe the first game in a series doesn't like take off super well, but you see potential. Like, I think Recore had so much potential. I really liked that game.
I mean, I didn't love it, but yeah,
I really liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I really liked it. I played the whole game through. I thought it was a cool concept that definitely could have been built upon, and we let that die. It's just numerous examples of, I don't know, man. You're right, Gene. It doesn't feel like at times like they're rooted in being like, what should an entertainment company really focus on? Because I can't imagine having these really cool concepts and not trying to capitalize on it again, not trying to say, okay, well, how can we make the next one better, and at least give it a second try, you know?
Right.
I've just seen a lot of really cool ideas just disappear over there, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, they have a lot of IP, so I don't know. A lot to pick from, I guess, but we'll see
Yeah, you know what? They'll do something stupid like or bringing back Killer Instinct.
They
Everyone,
should.
Come
everyone's
on, Micah. Come on.
Micah, they should
not-
though.
It's stupid.
They shouldn't because they kind of bungled it. Okay, like they shouldn't only because it's like Mortal Kombat does it better. It's just in terms of actually getting people to play competitively and all that. Killer Instinct on Xbox One was really cool, but I don't know, it didn't like take the competitive scene by storm, and it just was like
it was only on Xbox and PC,
exactly.
so that limited it a lot.
That is an issue.
That's what lures people in. A lot of like interest in fighting games. For me personally was watching other people play it, being like, man, I want to try that out.
Mm-hmm.
And without people like Sonic Fox playing the game and like showing you like the fucking potential, it doesn't hit the same.
I mean, he would play it, but like Killer Instinct just doesn't have any, support or anything like that. There is a massive amount of people who want to play Killer Instinct. Trust me.
I remember
there are
the
mobs
uproar.
of people waiting for Killer Instinct, but the problem is that Microsoft is not supporting it. It's only on Xbox and PC, and yeah, like maybe Microsoft is not the one to do it, which is again like goes back to the rooted problem. Microsoft has all these IP that they don't know how to fix or deal with, and that's not to say Sony doesn't have the same problem. Sony is
they do
having a lot of the same problem, honestly. I actually have a lot to say about Marathon later too. I have to get a lot off my chest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what we're playing, Micah. Let's start with you. What are you playing?
Yeah, so I am getting pretty close to finishing Hey Pikmin, and I should finish it this week and come back next week with something fresh. But I will say they have surprised me with how many Pikmin types are in the game. Like what they show you on like the cover art and stuff, I was like, oh, I didn't know. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, oh, I didn't know this Pikmin was in it. Oh, all right. And they really mix up the levels in ways I wasn't expecting. You have, and Olimar has like this little jetpack in the game. And early on, you sort of only use it to hover like short distances. You can't go very far. But as you upgrade things and you get the jetpack, you can fly higher and you can fly longer. And then the levels start to change. Suddenly you have a level where there's a little platforming section and you're using the jetpack to keep boosting yourself higher and higher and get to these new areas that you couldn't access before. And I really like this. I like that the levels are progressing along with my abilities. However, what I like even more is that the levels don't have things like okay, for example, if I went back to the first world, it's not like now I can access new things because I had the jetpack. In the first world, I could get everything available. I could get all the treasures with my current abilities. And I liked that. I like that I don't have to go back and replay. Now, if you missed out on treasures your first time through, it will be easier perhaps to get some of them because you have more health, because your jetpack is better, for example. But I really do like that in this game, they didn't do the traditional thing of, oh, I see that up there is really high. I'll have to come back for it later. And you have to remember to go back for it. They didn't do that at all. I certainly have stages where I missed out on treasures. And if I went back to them now with my new abilities, I could probably do the stage much faster and get the treasure easier. But it's not required that, oh, now I can go back because I have this. So while they keep adapting each stage, it keeps it really fresh that as your abilities level up, the stages get a little more complex. They add new things for you to do, but they don't kind of require you to go back and play old stages if you don't want to. So I like that a lot because in some of these games, that's just the layout. That's just how it is. And I like that this one, you can just keep pushing forward. And the new Pikmin that they add, you essentially unlock new areas of Pikmin Park, which is the section where you send them out on little tasks. It's all automated. You select where they go based on their abilities, and they will go find treasure and stuff. And of course, the more Pikmin types that you unlock, suddenly there's new treasures to be found over here. And it's just cool. It's a cute little kind of management aspect. It's very simple. but it does add another layer to the game where you're otherwise just going through and doing the stages one by one. Like I said too, I don't have the amiibo reader for my 3DS, so the amiibo levels keep popping up and I'm so curious what they do, but I don't have any way to interface with them. But yeah, I'm liking the game a lot. It has far more variety than I expected. I'm genuinely curious why it wasn't better received because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And like the boss fights, some of them are a little annoying, but they're each different. They're each unique. You have a mix of like underwater levels, little kind of like foresty levels. They're like an industrial section where you're in like essentially looks like a like factory. There's so much variety here. You're using, all your familiar Pikmin that you know and love. So I am very surprised that this game didn't do better, like critically, because when I almost didn't buy it when I first looked it up. I saw so many people shitting on this game and saying it wasn't very good. I trusted Holly, though, Dustin's wife, because she said she liked it. So I am a little puzzled as to what people hated so much about it, because no, it's not a traditional Pikmin game, but it is a really fun little puzzly platformer game. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't like puzzly platformer games. So to me, it does everything really well, and I'm having a ton of fun with it still.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. You're in the Pikmin mood.
Yeah, and it goes perfectly with podcasts because I will just say it has a cute little soundtrack, but this is not a game where you need the sound effects like at all. You don't need to hear that enemies are coming. You don't need to. It's not like Mario 3D Land, for example, like you're timing your jumps to like a music or something. Like, okay, like you have to stay with the beat because the things are flipping back and forth. Like you're not doing stuff like that. So it has been a nice little podcast game as well, and I appreciate that every now and then. I have been better about listening to the soundtracks when required, but this game truly, it does get a little annoying. Like all Pikmin games, like you blow a whistle to get the Pikmin to come back to you. You can only hear that whistle so many fucking times before you're like, just turn the sound off. You just kind of get a little sick of it. Or the Pikmin, every time you throw them, make little sounds, and it's cute at first, but when you're playing for an hour, it gets a little annoying. So it's been nice as well to use this as my little podcast catch-up game.
Cool. Okay. Anything else, Mike, or just that for now?
No, just that right now. I've been really trying to stick to like one game at a time.
Smart.
And just trying to finish things, So I think I'm going to beat that this week. I definitely should beat that this week. And then I'll be debating what to start next. Like, because Claire Obscure, that comes out actually the day that we're going to Massachusetts, but it'll be here when I get home. So I'll have to think what to do in the meantime. Like I think I'll beat Pikmin like in the next couple of days, and then I'll have a full week to play something else. So I'll have to make my choice.
Yeah, I got some think about. You could start that Chrono Trigger there, but maybe you don't want to play that many RPGs back to back.
Well, how long of a game is Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger? I don't know, 20-something hours maybe?
Pretty short.
Yeah, that's pretty short. That's pretty short.
Let me see.
And because I was planning on bringing the 3DS for the flight instead of the Switch, just because it's so much smaller and actually will just fit in my purse versus in my carry-on bag. So I probably will bring the 3DS with me.
Yeah. So it says main story on like how long to beat? 23 hours.
Okay.
Main story plus side quest is like 26 hours. So
yeah, if we're sub 30 hours, maybe I will just jump right in then once I finish Hey Pikmin.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Gene, what about you, man? What have you been playing?
Yeah, not a lot actually. I should be playing Kingdom Come Deliverance because I really want to.
Oh, right, one. That. Yeah.
But part one. But I haven't done that, and a lot of it is because my video game diet right now is being influenced by TV.
Oh
shows.
Yeah.
So last week I ranted all about the DMC Netflix show. So to cleanse my palate, we're playing all the DMC games.
Okay.
Every single one of them, just intermittently, just to enjoy and celebrate the franchise.
Even
5 is obviously a milestone in the character action genre.
Yeah.
I do wish like there definitely needs to be more respect for Devil May Cry. I think a lot of people don't realize that without Devil May Cry, we would not have God of War, we would not have Stellar Blade, we would not have Nier Automata. You know, these are the Devil May Cry is such an important series, and it's been fun to kind of revisit that.
Yeah.
And to kind of remind myself, like, you know, like what these fucking characters are about, as opposed to you know whatever Adi Shankar's
versions are.
is.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, I am actually been enjoying Adi Shankar's. I don't want to call it crash out because it's intentional, but he's really leaning into, you know, like I make bad adaptations, and I will threaten to adapt your favorite thing if you piss me off. Kind of thing. So he's like, oh, Blaze Blue, totally. You know, Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, the totally needs a darker edge. Tails needs to die right away. You know, stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
That's
I have to admit that it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah. So,
shout out to Adi Shankar, visionary, for doing that. And honestly, like I've been thinking nonstop about that fucking show anyways, like how weird it is and all the weird choices. But you know, I'm still working my way through it, kind of exercising my demons, if you will, with Devil May Cry, you know. And the other TV related game, big surprise, it's The Last of Us.
Right.
I have been replaying The Last of Us. I actually noticed your good buddy Michael Huber replays The Last of Us a lot. Does he love that game?
Dude, he replays those games a lot. A lot. It's really funny. I talked to him like a week or two ago, and he's like, surprise, I'm playing The Last of Us again. Yeah, he loves those games.
Can you explain to me? Like, I don't question it because, you know, to be quite frank, I fucking love The Last of Us games too. I love replaying these games, right? So like, has he explained why he loves them so much?
They're like his comfort food. They're like very, I don't know, you could use the word like therapeutic or something. It's just like his go-to kind of stuff like that and Evil Within are just like right up his alley stuff. Survival horror.
Yeah, because you know, like we obviously are huge Resident Evil fans, right? And I think that me and Huber are also kind of like attaching ourselves the same way in The Last of Us, is that like Last of Us is comforting a little bit, you know, in that Resident Evil way, but it's a lot simpler, and you know, there's not as many paths to go through. You're just kind of like going through the motions, and it's very, very therapeutic. So I've been replaying both on the Steam Deck, actually. Last of Us Part 1 and 2. Kind of switching between the two of them, because I never actually finished Part 1 on PC also. And that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I've described Last of Us series before as dumber Resident Evil 4. At least in term, and that sounds like it's like I'm making fun of it, but it's really not. Like I say that with all due respect, in that like I like the way Last of Us kind of simplifies a lot of things about Resident Evil to just like its essence, you know, collecting things, moving along, killing zombies, and having story. In terms of narrative design, obviously the Last of Us games are a lot more sophisticated than the Resident Evil games. You know, you know, even little things like, you know, Ellie finding the Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet, I'm forgetting the name of the game, or the game, whatever, Knives or something.
Right,
you know?
yeah. The fighting game,
I'm forgetting the name. But yeah, like even little things like that doesn't happen in Resident Evil at all. So there is like an interesting trade going on in terms of like what you lose in the Resident Evil formula when you try to tell a more involved story where characters are really, really engaged with what's going on in the minute-to-minute happenings of the events of the game, you know. And so much of The Last of Us is just minute-to-minute, you know. Like I forget, like even replaying The Last of Us 2, you know, when you're going through Seattle, you know, you're just kind of with Ellie and Dina almost every step of the way after you get to Seattle, you know, when they get blown up, when they get captured, when they have to run away from certain things, when you have to like find a place to take a break or whatever like that. You are playing every single step of the way, and there's so much character interaction and storytelling that's going on during that it's like, you know, me calling Last of Us dumber Resident Evil is not really giving its proper due because there's a lot going on in terms of the narrative that Resident Evil simply doesn't do at all.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's obviously a huge appeal to a lot of people. You know, people like Colin or whatever. You know, that really engages them. But it's really fascinating. But it's so fascinating to watch Huber like stream Last of Us again, and be like, I get that. Sometimes I just want to fucking play The Last of Us again. You know.
Yeah, he loves those games.
And you know, like the combat is really crunchy. You know, it's always satisfying to stick a shiv into a clicker. And the great thing is that Naughty Dog has added all of these quality of life like options to accessibility that makes replaying the game so much more fun. You know, I've said this before, but I love slow motion effects in video games. I love turning every video game into Max Payne. You know, and you can do that in The Last of Us. You can just, you know, if you swipe the touchpad on the PS5, or you know, you click L3 and the trigger on a PC. On the Xbox controller, everything just turns into slow motion, and it all just turns into Max Payne all of a sudden, and you just see all the glorious violence, all the body parts, you know, like the arm just shooting off a person, and they're just screaming, and the blood spurting out, all in slow motion. Like it's sickening, and it's beautiful, and I love playing that shit. You know, it gets so addictive. The combat, of course, is amazing too. So yeah, it's just you know, the show is back, and you know, we all saw the first episode. Go check out Micah and Dustin and Colin's you know, episode 1 recap and review, exclusive on Patreon, of course. But you know, there was an action scene there with Ellie in a supermarket, and that really got me going. I was like, hell yeah, I remember The Last of Us. You know, that I could just play that right now. I could just live that moment right now, you know, as Ellie. And I really enjoy playing the game. The last time we played The Last of Us was when the HBO show came out 2 years ago, you know. So it's like, yeah, I'm replaying this again only 2 years later. Still fairly fresh in my mind, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, thank you, Naughty Dog, for adding all of those quality of life improvements to just making the game so much more like fun to replay or revisit. Like I love having infinite crafting, so I can just have infinite Molotov cocktails to just throw at crowds of zombies and people. And just watch. You know, like it's fun to watch the AI and the game react to the nonsense that you're throwing at it. Literally, you know.
Yeah.
You know, here's just a room full of zombies. Well, what if I just don't give a shit about stealth and I just start throwing, like run around and just start throwing Molotov cocktails in their faces?
Yeah.
Super fun. I love, you know, and a lot of people don't know, but you can just use the brick to just brick a clicker to death.
Yeah.
Bricks. You can just go up to there and press square 3 times. Bam, bam, bam. Clicker's dead.
Yeah.
You bash his fucking face in, you know?
Yeah, I love the brick. So good.
Yeah. So yeah, the Last of Us definitely, you know, it's like, oh, it's a story about love, and it's a story about how revenge is not like the answer or that. You know, like The Last of Us appeals to like my absolute like degenerate side of violence. You know, where I'm just like, you know, and I think that's intentional. I think that's intentional where it appeals to sickos like us that love to see, you know, the ultra violence.
Yeah. I love the violence in it. Yeah.
No, it's also like the tension. So, because I was mentioning to Colin, as he's playing Last of Us 2 again, whenever he has to start up a generator, I was like, it reminds me of a specific moment in Last of Us 1 where you're in a basement, and as soon as you start the generator, enemies appear. And you know it's coming when you replay the game. Like, as soon as I turn this thing on, I'm gonna get swarmed, and the tension is just so delicious.
It's exciting. It's kind of addictive, right? Like I totally get what you mean, Micah. Yeah, you're just like, hell yeah, dude. Like once I fucking push this button, like shit's about to pop off, you know?
Exactly, and it's like, and I'm nervous, and I'm anxious, and I'm excited about it. Like the first one is my favorite, and it really does, just those moments still stick with me. There's another section in Last of Us Part 2 where you're in it, maybe like a subway station or something, but there was a part of it that reminded me of the high school scene from Last of Us 1 when you're in Bill's town. and you go through the high school.
So,
and that's another one of my favorite scenes.
It's so funny you brought up the high school. I was literally just thinking about the high school too. But I'm sorry, go continue.
Exactly. These are my favorite scenes from the first game. Billstown's my whole favorite section of the first game.
Yes.
And I think about that game so fondly, moment by moment, of like, man, the tension of knowing what's going to happen. You guys know it's rare for me to replay things. I played Last of Us 1 like 5 times. Damn. That's not a lot for some people, but for me, that is very many playthroughs.
Hey, Kanye West has 200 hours on Last of Us Part 1, the PS5 version. He's played 200 hours of it on the PS5.
Yeah,
it just came out,
He loves it. He fucking I cannot get over those tweets where he's like, once again, I'm tweeting about The Last of Us. Like, the dude loves that game. It's bizarre.
And I get it. I totally get what you mean about, it's funny they mentioned Billstown in the high school. I just finished that part last night. And I'm leaving Billstown, and I'm like, man, that part was so fucking good, though. Like, The Last of Us still holds up as like an interesting, fun game design where, like, with really fun encounters. I knew the door that opens the door to the gym and the gym encounter, the high school gym. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude! Like the gym part is about to happen. It's like rewatching a favorite movie, except that I get to play the part of my favorite part.
Right.
And it's like, hell yeah, and the thing is, like, the high school looks beautiful, right? The lighting, the atmosphere, the way the lockers are set up, and the way, like, there's stairs on the left and you can see the clicker and the sun is beaming down on them. Like, all of that stuff just feels really cool to, like, relive and redo and re-experience. And you're just like, hell yeah, now I'm gonna throw a Molotov cocktail at this clicker as opposed to just killing him or whatever, It kind of reminds you of, like, the original Splinter Cell. There's like, it's very linear, but there's always these small little micro decisions that you can always change to make things so much more fun. And The Last of Us 2 is even bigger. Playing Seattle Day 1, that's just an open world map, and it makes me excited for Intergalactic. I'm just like, oh yeah, Naughty Dog has actually been making really, really interesting open area maps with really cool stories that you find in them, like the bank area in The Last of Us 2. Like, you enter into a bank and there's a whole storyline with that. It makes you really excited for Intergalactic and the kinds of stories that you'll find exploring a whole fucking planet. That's really interesting. So, yeah. Last of Us, turns out that these are good games, and they're fun to play.
Yeah, they are good games.
Controversial statement, I know, but
Gene, we got to get you and Colin to do another Last of Us Part 2 episode. Be the fifth one?
Yeah. Because he did one regular with Sacred Symbols, and he did one with you. And he just did a fucking 7-hour one on again on Patreon. Go check that out, guys. 7 hours of The Last of Us 2 with Dagon, which is crazy.
Madman.
One thing that bugs me about, because I just listened to, because I'm playing The Last of Us while I'm listening to that podcast. It's perfect pairing, right? Like speaking of listening to podcasts and playing video, I don't need to fucking pay attention to The Last of Us right now. I'm just crunching. I'm just crunching through zombies, right? And just having fun and collecting shit, right? One thing that bugged me about Dagon, though, is that it's like within like 6 hours, Dagon forgets who the sniper is in The Last of Us 2, or he didn't realize who the sniper is in Last of Us 2. I'm like, Dagon, how would you miss that?
And people got upset at them.
Yeah, and I got upset too. So. But yeah, Colin and I should do another Last of Us 2 spoiler cast. We'll keep it to 5 hours, maybe. We don't need to.
You know what? We make this one a live stream. Mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I'll play Last of Us 2, and Colin can just keep talking about The Last of Us 2 again. And then we'll invite Huber on, and it's just a bunch of fucking Last of Us sickos, like the ones who just really fucking love the series for some reason.
Freaks,
Yeah, but yeah, for some reason I love The Last of Us as well. Like someone was like I tweeted like, oh, one of my favorite parts of the show is we get to see Kat, Ellie's ex-girlfriend, and then someone was like, that's your favorite part of the show? I'm like, yeah, because I love The Last of Us. I love the lore and the stories of it. So it's like I love seeing this new shit that we didn't see in the game that we only heard about, like the niche stuff, right?
Exactly. I'm with you on that, Gene, because while there are certain things that I say, I don't know if I would have done that with the show, I like that it's different because as someone who played both games, it keeps me guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they're going down different avenues because I don't know what's going to happen next necessarily. There is part of me that says I wish that the audience at home who didn't play the game did see the original story, but I'm still happy with the direction that it's going because it's keeping me on my toes. You know, they throw in random things. I'm like, all right, well, that wasn't there. And now we get to see this person who we know was in the game, but we never got to interact with. I agree with you on that, while I don't agree with every change the show makes, I still appreciate that it is different.
I also love. I just listened to so I'm listening to the Knockback podcast, but I was also listening to the official HBO podcast hosted by Troy Baker. And it was fascinating to realize that spoilers for season 2, episode 1. The first, but the whole season starts with the end of Last of Us Part 1. And it's like, oh, they're just using old footage. That's why Bella and Troy, or not Troy, fucking Pedro look exactly like they do 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It's because that is exactly the footage. That's cool. I'm glad that they were able to use old footage. So I'm wondering if that'll show up again in the rest of the season. Like, oh yeah, we filmed a bunch of old shit and we can just reuse it again. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, wasting my time with The Last of Us again. I feel I'm sorry for all the people who want me to play Kingdom Hearts or more Persona or Romancing Saga or even Kingdom Come Deliverance, but there's all these TV shows out and they're giving me a vibe. That I need to. I love the transmedia synergy. I love watching the show and then playing the game. I love going to the Spider-Man movie in the theaters and then going home and then playing Insomniac Spider-Man. I fucking love that shit. I do that every day.
I mean, it's what Hogue talks about, and not always with direct tie-ins, but he'll see something on TV and then say, "Oh, what game would give me a similar feel to that?" And if a game doesn't directly exist, it's like, okay, well, what's a horror game I can pull up right now?
Yep.
And like Hogue's very much about that, of kind of curating his entertainment to like what the mood he's in. So he's gonna watch a show and then try and play a game that's like kind of similar to the same vibe. And it's like, dude, my life is not organized enough for that. I'm watching a barbecue contest on Netflix and I am playing Xenoblade Chronicles. All right, they don't go together at all.
Yeah, but I'm probably a lot similar to Hogue. Every time there's like a news event about some kind of war or something like that, I'm like, oh, I'm playing Metal Gear right away.
Oh yeah, let me go play Spec Ops: The Line for the 6th time.
Exactly,
Oh, you're muted.
God damn it! It's for me, still playing the first Berserker Kazan. I'm over 70 hours in. I have one more boss to beat.
That's a big boy.
That game is that long? Holy shit.
Well, I'm doing everything in the game pretty much you can do.
Sure.
And I haven't lowered the difficulty, and I'm not using summons because I want those trophies, so it is much more challenging. If I want to just burn through the game, I could a lot faster. But I have one more boss to beat, so then I'll be done. My goal was to beat it before Clair Obscure, so I think I'll make it. So I did that, and I finished South of Midnight. I played through that, and it's okay, that game. I think it has really good presentation. Like, I like the way it looks a lot. I like the music a lot. I like the setting a lot. I think that's all good. The gameplay front, particularly the combat, is very tiresome, I would say. I got very bored of the combat. It's extremely repetitive. I lowered the difficulty down to story mode just because I wanted to skip it at parts. Because every combat encounter takes place in an arena, and there's not a lot of variety or enemy variety or anything like that to keep it exciting, and there's a lot of it. So I got extremely bored with it. Platforming's okay. I wish it went further in a lot of ways or just did more surprising stuff, but it's okay. I definitely think if you have Game Pass, sure, you could check it out. I don't think I'd recommend buying it for $40 right away unless you're okay with playing like a game, in my opinion, in the 6 range, maybe close to 7, maybe. I think it's an okay game, though. Like I said, I like the world and I liked being in it, but in the gameplay department, I just think it was lacking quite a bit, much like some of their other games, like We Happy Few and Contrast, kind of the same problem going on there. But I'm happy when I played through. It's not very long. It's like 7-8 hours maybe.
Oh,
But,
really?
Yeah, it's not a long game.
Wow, that's short.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that you liked the soundtrack, just because when I watched some of your stream of it, I just had several like moments where I was like, this song shouldn't have lyrics right now.
I know.
Like
a lot of it is
weird
goofy.
that they have lyrics. It was just like, dude, instrumentals, man.
There's a lot of good instrumentals.
Lyrics should be for like very key moments.
Yeah, they do lyrics for like some like boss kind of things, and they sing about the boss.
Yeah,
and it's not like I'm not like that
weird.
song slaps, but I think I just kind of like the weird vibe going on in there.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm putting on a CD listening to that song and being like, yeah, or anything like that.
Well, I bought it for you for your birthday, Brad.
Oh,
so.
shit. You don't even know when my birthday is.
I do.
Yeah, you did ask me about it a while ago. It's
like,
don't look it up.
No, because it's what I said. The GameStop guy said the Switch was coming out, right? He said Switch 2 was coming out, what, May 15th?
Yes.
Was that it?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's due Dark Ages Day.
That's when the GameStop man lied to me.
Yeah, he lied. Son of a bitch.
Bro, and he had a whole spiel about it, too, because like he really was. Like, you could tell he was telling everybody who bought a Switch game that day, he was lighting them up about when he thought Switch 2 was coming out. He had a whole spiel. All these, like, he had like 4 points as to why he thought that was the date.
That's funny.
And then it's like a week later, it's revealed that it's like fucking not even close.
That's really funny. But yeah, I'm curious what people will think about South of Midnight as they play it more. I don't want to talk about like spoilers or anything like that, but I was confused on some things. I was just like, huh? Why? But yeah, cool environment, I guess. I like the South and like the whole Louisiana vibe, but that goes a long way for me. So if you're not really into that, you're going to have a rougher time.
Yeah, and then Brad, after playing the game, you started watching a lot of BET.
That's right.
Just to continue the vibe.
That's right. Yeah, lots of
Just put Pimp My Ride on repeat.
Is that on BET?
No, it was on MTV, right?
What is BET even like? What shows are on BET? They probably just play like sitcoms and stuff, like, right?
Yeah, these days I don't know. Back in the day, it was that show with who's that? I was gonna say, who's that black guy? And he kind of Martin Lawrence. All right, he was like in everything on
Martin,
BET.
The show, yeah, Martin.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of music videos, like half the day was rap videos that like MTV didn't want to show, but
they still do the awards. They had like BET awards, I remember.
Oh my god, I don't know. I gotta also, before I lose my black card over here, I wasn't allowed to watch BET. Okay, when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to click on that channel. So, full disclosure there that I'm going based off of what I remember seeing on the TV guide.
Yeah,
BET is very sexy. So,
oh, dude, I mean, we weren't supposed to watch like music videos at all. But like if my mom wasn't home, it's like, put on VH1. Let's watch the top 10 music videos today.
And VH1 was always like the not sexy ones, like.
Well, exactly. Like
I remember being a kid. I was like, I don't know if I can go into VH1, honestly.
Go into VH1.
Yeah.
They had fun reality TV shows on there.
Oh, dude,
Flavor
MTV
of Love.
reality shows. Rock of Love.
Rock of Love, with, Bret Michaels, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, MTV was definitely the preferred Gooners.
Oh yeah. Gooners Paradise for sure.
The random shows too. Did you ever? I think it was called Parental Control. Was a show where like your parents observe you going on different blind dates and they choose like the winner at the end. I think like you're going on a couple dates.
Oh, that's funny.
They had like just random shows like that. Silent Library. Oh my god.
Oh, I remember Silent Library. Yeah,
I loved that show.
That was a good show.
And I was in love with the host when I was in high school.
Oh, really? Yeah, that guy was cool.
He was so cool. He was like so fucking cool. Yeah.
Quiet. Yeah.
Robin Big, dude. I loved MTV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, MTV. I don't even know what the hell they probably show now. It's probably just I was gonna say it's probably just that 10 hours a day.
And I hate that show. I love Rob Dyrdek, but dude, I hate that show.
Yeah.
I can't fucking stand it.
Yeah. No thanks. All right, guys. Let's talk about something else first. So the Bafta Award just happened kind of recently. Let me write this here. And I just thought we'd just go over kind of some of the results real quick. So just happened. I forgot what BAFTA stands for. It's like British and Film, Television, something. I don't know, something like that. But they had their gaming awards. So I just thought we'd go through the awards. First, we had animation. The winner here was Astrobot. very good animation right here. There was Hellblade here. I'm kind of surprised that didn't. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll see if there's any upsets. Artistic achievement was Neva. I have not played that game, but I know a lot of people like that. I just think of what's the British guy's name from Batman and like Austin Powers? Michael Caine going Neva. That's just what I think of every time.
Oh, he's British? He's been British this whole time?
Yeah, what did you think he was?
I've only seen him in Batman. He speaks American.
He's British.
That,
no,
right?
he's British.
No, he's mega British.
Is he? I thought he just was like an old man. Like he just kind of like has like a kind of like
Master
stunted
Bruce.
manner.
Yeah, you think that's just some
he
old
kind of
man?
just has like a stunted.
Have you ever met a British person before?
No, he doesn't sound like British. He just kind of sounded like kind of halting.
Do you think Holland's gonna sound like that once he turns 50? He just starts sounding British all of a sudden.
Micah. Yeah,
we can hope.
Oh man, that's so funny, dude. All right.
Oh my god, he's been British this whole time.
He's been British for a long time, Micah.
Wow. I'm hearing this now for the first time.
Haven't you ever seen Austin Powers Gold Member? Did you ever see that?
Oh, literally, no. I've never seen Austin Powers. We weren't allowed to.
Oh, wow. Damn, okay.
I watched Austin Powers. I actually didn't like it. I was like,
it was a moment in time.
Didn't like Austin Powers? Like, because Gene's like, this isn't realistic. My life's nothing like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a real gooner. This is not how a real gooner lives, you know?
That's right. Let's see here. Audio achievement winner was Astrobot again.
Damn.
Best game.
Really?
Yeah. Audio achievement.
Audio achievement. I mean, you know, like everyone knows my beef with fucking Hellblade 2. That is one where Hellblade 2 could have won that one at least.
Yeah, it could have won.
Yeah, and I like Astrobot. Like incredible for a game I did not play. I'm just not interested in it. But I like Colin and I make fun of the song so much because like I'll just randomly just be like Astrobot, like just like because you hear it 1,000 times a minute. It's I am Astrobot. It's like okay, all right. You know, you're a Pokemon or something. It's all you fucking say.
Yeah,
and that won the achievement for the audio
achievement. Yeah, there was that. There was Animal Well nominated, Helldivers 2. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Still Wakes the Deep. But Astrobot came on top.
You could have given it to Still Wakes the Deep. They're all Scottish in that. It was great. Because like, you can't understand a fucking word they're saying. It's like going to the old country. It's awesome.
But that's like, I don't know. This is like British, so it's kind of like
they hate Scottish people.
That's true. Yeah, they still
the British are fucking bastards to the Scots, and we'll never forgive them.
We've all seen Braveheart. We know.
I haven't, but
okay. All right. Here's the best game nominees: Astrobot, Balatro, I think that's how you actually say it. Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers 2, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and Thank Goodness You're Here. And the winner was Astrobot again.
These awards fucking suck, dude.
British game, best British game.
They're, they just like Astrobox. Nobody's got teeth, and they're like, finally, we feel seen. We feel represented.
That's your British accent too. We feel represented.
I can't do a British accent.
Oh man, dude, Micah's pissing off all of our British listeners.
I have too many teeth in my mouth to do a British accent.
Oh my god, dude! Good lord. All right, British game nominees. Here we go. Thank Goodness You're Here, A Highland Song, Lego Horizon Adventures, Paper Trail, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Still Wakes the Deep. The winner was Thank Goodness You're Here. I haven't played that game, but
that one makes sense. That game's very funny, like really super cute.
Very
too.
British. Very British. Let's see. Evolving game. Winner was Vampire Survivors. Wow. For evolving game? Okay.
Weird.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Old.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, strange. Family game, Astrobot won. Kind of surprise there. Fellowship Award, though.
It's a big fucking surprise, Brad. It's a big surprise.
What, family?
Yeah.
Astrobot? No, wait. Okay. I went against Cat Quest 3, Lego Horizon Adventure, Little Kitty, Big City, The Plucky Squire, and Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah, Jamboree. Jamboree all the
You
way.
probably didn't even play Jamboree.
I didn't play Astrobot either.
But you at least saw Astrobot. You have an idea, I guess.
Okay, well, I've seen Mario Party in the past.
Well,
I have an even clearer idea of what that
I'll
is.
defend him on this. The Astrobot like won everything everywhere. So
yeah, clearly. This is, I don't know. There's a conspiracy afoot.
Yeah,
with this Astrobot nonsense. You're telling me that like 6 people in a storage unit in Japan made this game and they've won like 100,000 awards for it.
Yeah, that's right.
There's something up. Something's wrong.
That's right. Yeah. Fellowship Award, they give this to people for outstanding achievements. They gave it to Yoko Shimomura. I'm very happy about that. She is a legend. She's composed many great soundtracks over the years. Kingdom Hearts, she's known for. She did Street Fighter 2. She's been in the game for a long time. She made Guile's theme, guys, right? So
she made Guile's theme.
Yeah, give her an award.
Like that alone would put her in the Hall of Fame easily.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Did like Super Mario RPG stuff. She's been at Square, done a lot of stuff for Square over the years.
Mm-hmm.
She's a legend.
13,
yep, she's a legend. Game Design Award went to Astrobot. Sorry, Micah. Multiplayer Award went to Helldivers 2. Really fun multiplayer. Music, this one was surprising to me. Music went to Helldivers 2.
Oh my god.
And the nominees were Astrobot, Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Star Wars Outlaws. I don't remember a single thing about Helldivers 2 music. I'll just say that. I don't remember it. And Gene, you remember last week or the week before we were talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has like 300 songs or some crazy shit, and they're all really good?
Mm-hmm.
Very surprised. There's your conspiracy. I'm going to go with Mike on that one.
This is their reward for it. All their extra work.
Yeah.
And they didn't even win.
I know.
That's crazy. It's the BAFTAs are weird. I don't know. I mean, every award, they're all weird.
Yeah. Narrative, we had, the winner was Metaphor Refantazio. So, sure.
Yeah.
New intellectual property was Still Wakes the Deep won, which is kind of surprising. I thought Balatro would have won that because people fucking love that shit.
I was about to say, I've never heard of that before. Oh, wait, it's a new IP.
Yeah.
What is this brand? Oh, wait, it's new. Okay.
It's new. Performer in a leading role was Alec Newman from Still Wakes the Deep. I haven't played it, so I don't know, but I know Cog liked that game.
Yeah, I did. And I watched Colin play it through. It was really cool. Colin didn't like it as much as I did, but I thought it was excellent.
Yeah. Let's see. Performer in a supporting role was Karen Dunbar from Still Wakes the Deep as well. And technical achievement, the winner was Senua Saga Hellblade 2. So there you go. There's from the BAFTA Awards. There's conspiracies going on, we've decided. So discredited. That's the way it's going now. All right. So with the Switch 2 announcement, there's been many questions just because Nintendo wasn't very clear with a lot of their things or how they're rolling out information. But there was some concern about the games being like a key, an access key only, and the games not being on the cart and all that stuff. But Nintendo spoke up about this. So a statement from Nintendo spokesman to the outlet Voox. This is from Nintendo. Quote, physical versions of Nintendo Switch 2 edition games will include the original Nintendo Switch game and its upgrade pack all on the same game card, i.e. they are exclusively Nintendo Switch 2 game cards with no download code. Alternatively, some publishers may release Nintendo Switch 2 edition games as download codes in physical packaging with no game card. So that stuff's not surprising, I guess, but it's annoying. But it's good to know that for the first party games, at least, that this game will all be on the card. That makes me very happy. Micah, are you stoked about this?
Absolutely. There was a bit of this is Nintendo's fault in a lot of ways. I saw people being really upset that content creators were, really harping on this whole game keycard thing and they didn't have all the facts. And it's like, whoa. We had whatever the fuck Nintendo told us, right? It's not the fault of people who, create the content that post direct. We were all confused that after the direct, we had so many more questions than we had answers. And this is where they left us. Yeah, some people did really run away with the story. I think we tried to give a very fair, we'll kind of have to wait and see some of these details. We were reacting to what we knew at the time. But it's true. It's this is excellent news. Very happy to hear it. This all still comes down, though, to Nintendo's being so unclear during their direct in the fact that people were so confused. And I still see people saying, nah, man, if you get the game keycard edition, you can't share it. It's a one-time use. And it's none of that's true. But I still see just regular, people saying that on Reddit and stuff. And it's the misinformation comes down to Nintendo's own direct and them just not telling us half the shit and wanting you to go find it out later. But this is very good news.
Yeah, very good news. What do you think, Gene?
Yeah, I mean, everything Micah said. It's just crazy that Nintendo. I mean, it's weird that Nintendo is like so concerned about messaging, and then so much of the messaging like ran away from them here.
Yeah, they're poor at
But
it. Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the press too. I mean, press, Jeff Keighley, insider gaming, Tom Henderson, who's usually reliable, started the whole $90 like thing. It was kind of weird that a lot of people who are usually reliable kind of started fucking up everything.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some kind of communication breakdown. And a lot of it is on Nintendo, but I actually do want to blame the pipeline too. That you should have fucking checked. You should have just waited. You should have just maybe realized that euros are not dollars, and you don't have to say $90. It was a little crazy. And I think then the whole Nintendo Switch 2 like disinformation environment just goes to show how broken our information like pipeline and network is basically.
Right.
Everything from the sources to the media to the consumers, like we're all just it's just all a wild west. It's just all nonsense. It's crazy.
It's like who can get information out first, even though if it's not 100% accurate.
Exactly, especially with the viral, like in journalism, it's always about people will always remember. There was an old adage that I'm forgetting already. Yes, but there was an old adage where it's like people will always remember who got it wrong. They'll never forget. They'll never remember who got it right. Or they'll never remember who was first, but they'll remember who got it wrong.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. It seems like nobody will remember anything, and whoever got it right will control the narrative somehow, and we'll get the most viral fame out of it.
Yeah, it's a good idea to wait until you know for sure, but
that's not what anyone's doing. So
it's not the way the game's played anymore.
Yeah.
All right, next we got some info about the new GameCube controllers coming. So we recently found out the new GameCube controllers that are coming since GameCube is coming NSO. They will not work with Switch compatible GameCube games like Smash Brothers, where you could use a GameCube controller, or Mario 3D All Stars, where you could use it for like Sunshine. This will only work with the NSO GameCube games, which I guess isn't too surprising. I wish it did work with old Switch games, but luckily for me, I do have the GameCube controller port for Switch, so I can use that for everything still, because it will work with the NSO games. But I don't know, it's a little disappointing, but do you think it really matters for most people? I personally don't think it does.
No, it doesn't. It's much ado about nothing.
Yeah. It's cool because it's wireless. It's so funny. It has the chat button on it as well. Just seeing that on a GameCube controller.
That's awesome.
It's so weird. But I love the GameCube controller. Micah, do you think you'll buy a GameCube controller for this?
I might, because I do remember like Colin playing Ocarina of Time on Nintendo Switch Online and being extremely frustrated about the buttons, and I was like, I don't know what the big deal is. All right, so I might just pick this up just for the ease of use. I don't know how confusing it'll be to play Wind Waker without it. I don't know. He made like a real big stink about it.
For Ocarina of Time, it's different because of the C buttons.
Mm-hmm.
For like certain items, that's kind of like the main flaw. But Wind Waker would translate better to a modern controller. I think like you would probably be okay. I just think the GameCube controller feels really great in your hand, and I really like it a lot.
It was a great little controller. I'll try to get one. That's something that I'll try to buy it. I won't be too upset if I can't get one. Right. If it's all sold out in a minute, I won't be devastated.
For sure. Gene, would you buy one?
No, pretty much.
I know.
I have never used a GameCube controller with my Switch. I've never even used a Nintendo 64 controller with my Switch.
Oh,
they're fun to own, So I have a GameCube controller and a Nintendo 64 controller. I'm just having them to have them. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not a smelly a melee player. I don't need this.
Melee's never coming to it anyways.
Melee's never coming to it anyways. So what the fuck are we even doing? So like, why is there an outrage? I don't know.
I don't know if there's an outrage necessarily, but just information. I don't know. I think if you're gonna charge people for a new GameCube controller, it's like
it feels like every time there's a new Nintendo announcement in the last 2 weeks, people are going to be upset about something. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo is the ultimate monkey's paw with everything.
Yeah,
you get this, but there's always a catch. Always,
there's always a catch, though. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like The Last of Us Complete Edition was just announced, and everyone's calling Sony and Naughty Dog greedy for that too. But it's like, just fucking buy it, man. Yeah, I already have it. I was like, you already solved the problem. You already have the games.
Yeah, so. It's for people that don't have it or collectors that want physical or something like that, I suppose. But
yeah, sickos like me and Huber.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of fucking perverts like you guys.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I want that Last of Us Complete Edition.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
So if you're looking at the GameCube controller, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But it probably won't affect 99% of people. Okay, guys, just a quick little thing. I was happy to see this. The Legend of Zelda, the original soundtrack, was added to Nintendo Music, which is funny because it's not a very big soundtrack because it's an NES game. But I looked at Nintendo Music yesterday just to see all the Zelda games on there. There's quite a bit on there, so I'm very happy to see more great games getting on that service. Very happy about that. But just a nice little shout out. Micah, have you ever listened to the original Zelda soundtrack in your life? Have you ever heard it?
I don't think so.
Wow.
No, I've never played it. I don't think I've ever heard it, but I'm glad people can add it to their Goonin playlists, good for them. Good for you, Brad.
Thank you. I definitely won't be gooning to it, but
Brad, don't lie to the audience.
Yeah, I do like Zelda. Okay, so just a little shout out there. This one is purely a rumor, but I'm just curious, or I just thought it was interesting. So according to a reliable leaker named Bill Coon, he kind of posted some stuff about possible Switch 2 pre-order dates for North America and Canada. The Canada one is probably a little more concrete, it seems like, from what he wrote, but it could be happening very soon. I'll just read his actual things he wrote on Blue Sky. So he wrote, upcoming release. From what I can see through Canada retailers, Nintendo Switch 2 console and bundle pre-orders should start from April 23rd. And he said, of course, the date is subject to change. Can't confirm for the same for the US. Keep you updated if things changing. That was a few hours ago. I think he wrote that yesterday. So that makes sense to me, I suppose. We'd start to see that. That's after the Mario Kart Direct, which we'll be getting later this week. So I thought we'd get it after that, but it'd be good to hear that. And also he wrote something for the United States. What did he write here? He said, through some retailers, I have found conflicting data for pre-orders start dates of Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. He said for Switch 2 consoles, April 21st or April 23rd, depending on retailer. For accessories like Switch 2 Pro controller, April 30th. I'll keep you updated for any data changes. So could be next week we start getting some of this stuff, or the week after that, before May, which would be good. So everybody, I know all of us in North America are eagerly awaiting that pre-order date. We just want to know, god damn it, so we can get it out of the way and pre-order it. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long. Micah, what do you think these dates? They seem like those could definitely happen to me.
Yeah, without getting into politics shit, we know that the tariffs have like a pause on them again. Mm-hmm. So if Nintendo fucking ship a bunch of consoles here right now and sell them. All right, get the pre-orders going, ship them all over here before the 90 days is up or whatever. I don't know how this shit works, but it would make sense with that announcement from the government that, okay, yeah, maybe in the next 2 weeks we order this thing and just finally get this rolling. And in any case, it's like, just make a decision, Nintendo.
Yeah, just get it out there.
But I will say, I can't tell you how hard I laughed seeing that the Canadian pre-orders were also paused.
Oh,
just because it's like the Canadians were so fucking smug about it, and then it was like, no, also you can't order them either, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
And that was fucking funny.
Yeah, get owned. But yeah, and Gene, any thoughts on this, or just whatever? I don't know, rumors, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess we'll see.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everybody. Hopefully we'll get that soon, concrete information. Okay, so Shuhei Yoshida, formerly of PlayStation, was on the Easy Allies podcast, my old stomping grounds. And they asked him about his thoughts on Nintendo's Direct and all that kind of stuff. And he had some thoughts about it. I'm going to read this. This is off Video Games Chronicle. I'm reading this, but of course it's from the Easy Allies podcast. Quote, to me, it was a bit of a mixed message from Nintendo, Yoshida explained. In a sense, I think Nintendo is losing their identity, in my opinion. For me, they are always about creating some new experience, like designing hardware and games together to create an amazing new experience. But Switch 2 as well, all anticipated is better Switch, right? It's the larger screen, more powerful processor, higher resolution, 4K 120 FPS. They even had hardware person starting the stream like other platformers do, right? Or right, question mark. It's because it's a better Switch. Their core premise of this whole Switch 2 is we made this thing better. And that's something other companies have been doing all this time. I just want curious, first of all, what you guys think about this. Do you think Nintendo is losing its identity from where we're going now, I guess, or losing some of that with the Switch 2?
He's not wrong. Because this is the first time, and Nintendo knows this, and this is the first time a new console is just an iteration. Well, like the Wii U notwithstanding, right? But like we know that the Wii U was a pretty big departure from the Wii. You know, didn't even have a Wiimote, right? So it's and that was a huge mistake for them. In that, a lot of people thought it was the Wii 2, and it was not that at all, right? Mm-hmm. So now we have to switch to. So he's not wrong at all. He's making a pretty, I think, what I would say is a pretty objective observation. You know, including him noting that hardware developers are leading it, just like the way Mark Cerny would for PS5, right? They would trot out Mark Cerny to talk about the PS5 technicals, and that's exactly what Nintendo did with those three new guys, Kawamoto and forgetting their names already, but yeah, those three guys. So yeah, I think he's not wrong at all. But he's also forgetting that Nintendo is now the only platform that really does true console exclusives,
right? Yeah, it's true.
And Shuhei, let's be real. You a couple months ago, you said, oh well, Sony doesn't really. These AA games don't really sell well, so Sony's only focusing on AAA, hits. And it's like, okay, well, Nintendo's the only company out of all the three of them who's actually. Well, I mean, to be fair, Microsoft just released Avowed or whatever, so there's that. But console exclusives that are up and down the spectrum of scale and project size and IP, and as well as console exclusive. You're not going to see Tomodachi Life on the PlayStation, bro.
Right.
So you want to talk about unique things? It's still about the games.
It's
right?
always been software.
It's always been software. All these gimmicks that he's bemoaning he's missing are shit that nobody liked and other developers didn't fucking use.
Yeah.
The mouse control is a thing that other developers are going to use. CDPR is already going to use it for Cyberpunk. Mm-hmm. That could be that's a function that is easily transferable to so many third-party developers. So this is really the first time that an innovation, and yeah, it isn't like the biggest innovation, but it's a slight tweak that the rest of the industry can actually use. And probably offer unique experiences that you can't find in other consoles. Not right. Without fucking plugging in a mouse into your Xbox or whatever.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Micah?
That's right.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, because I absolutely hear what Shuhei is saying here. You look at the series of Nintendo consoles, we did not just get GameCube version 2. All right, like we didn't. We just completely departed from that to the next console. And you're looking at like the progression of the Game Boy. It was like, yeah, we improved it, and it's also a completely different shape. And now this one's a clamshell. Like they did just keep making each one very different. This is though a winning formula. The Switch is an overwhelming success. It's just like literally people really like it. And I say that only because when you have such a failure like the Wii U, I don't think it would be a smart move at all to be like, okay, well, the Switch sold well, but it's in our DNA to make the next one shaped like a horseshoe, all right? Like, we simply must. We cannot have the next console be similar. It has to be, and it's like, no, it doesn't. Nintendo, for everything that their whimsy and imagination brings them, it was, in my opinion, time to say, from a business standpoint, this thing is great. People like it. They do want the same one, but better. Let's do that. And the games are where the creativity and all the imagination is still bursting forth. Like, I'm so excited for the new Donkey Kong game, all right? But I'm just like, as a consumer of Nintendo products, I wanted Switch version 2. I did not want next random Nintendo design, period. And I'm happy with this. I don't really think, though, that they're losing their identity, because I agree with Gene that I think the software is where all that creativity and whimsy is still going to come through, and just fun for players is still going to come through. And who knows what their next console will look like. Maybe they won't do Switch 3. Maybe they will do something zany and wacky next time. Maybe they'll split them in half again, start doing a TV console and a handheld. Like, who knows what they'll do 10 years from now. But this did feel like the right decision for their company. And I don't know, like, we're living in a world that's, facing a potential economic recession, all right? It's not the time to try another Wii U. It just isn't.
Yeah, I don't really agree with Shuhei in a lot of sense. Like you guys are saying, I think a lot of Nintendo's creativity is from the software mostly, and it always has been, like Gene was saying, and that the fact that they are the only ones still doing console exclusives pretty much, like, they're not coming to PC anytime soon that we know of, for now. But like the sense of hardware, it's like the leap from Nintendo to Super Nintendo was just like more power. Same thing. And 64, they added 2 more controller slots. It's like, okay, it's still cartridges, all that. GameCube,
that's true.
Just another console.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Wii they got a little more crazy. And when you think about Game Boy, they went to Game Boy, then Game Boy Color, then Game Boy Advance, and those are all just kind of like bloop, 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 just power jumps. That's it. It wasn't until DS they started tweaking with
Brad,
that.
they read shaped different. All right, the Advance was shaped like this.
Yeah, but
and the SP is a little cube.
That's true. They did change the shape of them. They do different versions of their hardware.
I love the SP.
They always do different.
I fucking love the SP, dude.
Yeah, I have my SP still somewhere in there. But yeah,
I still got my SP too. I've never got rid of it. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's not like every console Nintendo does is some wild departure.
You're right. Yeah,
time.
that's true.
It's not. So I don't understand what he's really saying there.
Yeah, you're only talking about the Wii.
Yeah, exactly. Like from the Wii onward, maybe, but it's like, I don't know. It's like the DS, then the DS Lite, DSi.
The
it's
DSi.
Like, yeah, it's all very similar. Or DSi XL. It's like, oh shit. Now we'll do the 3DS. Like that is still, that's a little more of a gimmick. They do it more than everyone else, but it's like, Nintendo is still Nintendo to me because they're still doing like weird, dumb Nintendo shit. Like this whole Notes app, everything where Zelda we're talking about. Like who's doing that except Nintendo nowadays? Like,
oh, dude, the camera. They're bringing back the camera.
The camera. It's
okay,
like you're 10 years, 15 years late on that shit. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think Nintendo still has a lot of their own personality, I think. So I don't agree with Shuhei kind of at all on that point. So I don't know.
They're refusing to do achievements. They're bringing back cameras.
Yeah, you're right. I was trying to give him
chat.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but after he broke it down like that, yeah, I think he wasn't being objective at all. I think he kind of lost the plot there for a bit. So
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Nintendo is just a weird, very strange, unpredictable company, I suppose, in a lot of ways. And like, I guess people are disappointed. Like, I didn't want Switch, the successor, to be that much different. Like Micah said, it was a winning formula and it's working. Why the fuck would you mess with it right now? And they're doing small tweaks to it. Like you said, like the mouse, that's quite a departure.
The mouse is huge. I love the mouse.
Yeah. Dude, just the expectation is what bothers me, because it's like nobody said, oh, from PS4 to PS5, I hope the PS5 is fucking weird and doesn't play PS4 games and it's a strange device. I hope it's the Game Sphere. You wanted an upgraded console, period. And it's the same with Xbox, of which I buy them. I wanted an upgraded console. I wanted to just play the game smoother, prettier, whatever. But I don't want the next Xbox to be some weird fucking thing.
Yeah.
The expectation that Switch would be this bizarre console. It's like, but why would you want that? We like this one. The thing about the Wii U is that no one wanted that again. We all agreed, and we all told Nintendo straight up, don't do that again. And we wanted something different. We like this one. So why would you want it to be radically different? Like, we like it. I just wanted to play better games, more powerful games. Like, that's it.
Yeah. I need to listen to it. I wonder if like Bloodworth or Damiani push back a little on that, but I don't know. Because, I think Shuhei's wrong, but we love the man. But you got it wrong this time, Shuhei. All right. Let's see here. So, guys, this has been rumored for a very long time, talked about for a very long time in our circle with Maddie and Lockmore talking about a lot. But the Oblivion remake finally got leaked. We saw screenshots of it. I think it was today. It's finally happening. It's supposed to come out later this month. It looks cool to me. I haven't played Oblivion, so I definitely want to check it out because I know a lot of people love it. I've only played Skyrim from the Elder Scrolls series, but I'm definitely interested in checking this out. Gene, what are your thoughts on this? Are you excited for this? Are you going to play it, or are you good?
Look, Oblivion is a massive game. It is the first game I bought in the quote-unquote 7th generation of consoles, the Xbox 360. I bought an Xbox 360 because Gears of War came out. A lot of Gears of War love this episode, but I really wanted to play Gears of War. That was when Unreal Engine became like a real headlining feature, and it looked fucking awesome. And I was like, well, might as well buy Oblivion with this because I've been deeply interested in getting into Oblivion as well. And it was like a life-changing event, both of those games, So I'm pretty excited about this. There is controversy right now about the forests and how green the forests look. Because if you remember Oblivion, that was like the greenest game ever. It was so green. And then you look at the forest now, and they're pretty burnt out. They're pretty brownish and everything like that.
Yeah. I'm looking at one shot.
I see a lot of people arguing, hey, newsflash, okay, but forests in real life don't look all that green. And it's like, first of all, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. Forests definitely look super green. And secondly, who cares what it fucking looks like in real life? This is a fucking fantasy video game, So shut the fuck up. It should look green. So I don't know. So I definitely disagree with people who are okay with it not looking as green. A huge thing about Oblivion is that it was way greener than Skyrim. Skyrim is icy and brown. That was and Skyrim is awesome in its own right, but that was a huge aesthetic marker between Skyrim and Oblivion. Is that Oblivion was the greener, fresher looking one, and Skyrim is kind of rotted out and war torn, but regardless, I'll check it out because Oblivion is
Granted to everyone, we've only just seen a couple screenshots so far of the game, so we don't really know. This one screenshot I've seen in the forest,
could be like a day of light, the day time of day type of thing.
It looks like a different time of day, but I mean, I have no idea, so we'll see. But I get it if people aren't happy with that. Micah, what do you think about this? Will you play this?
I'd like to. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game, so this seems like a good place to start. I'd be interested. I love fantasy shit, fantasy slop, as Colin would call it, but I'm into it. So yeah, no, I have been very annoyed these past couple of weeks because everyone's like, tomorrow's the day, boys, get ready. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And it's like nothing. So it's like, just shut up until we know for sure. Like, why are we doing this? Like, why don't we just wait for them to announce it? And I don't mean this today. I mean, like, for like 3 weeks, Lockmore's like, it's coming. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I just wait. Why don't we all just wait until they say something? But I'm excited. I'll play this. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I don't think we know the platforms, so it might not even come to Switch or Switch 2, but maybe Switch 2, I assume. But who knows with Bethesda? I hope it does. That'd be cool. I won't play it on there, but I hope it does come. Micah will play it there maybe, though.
No, I will not.
Okay, she'll play it on her Xbox G-Cloud. So, yeah, we should be hearing about this game relatively soon, I guess, in a week or two. And our final story is we're just going to end with some marathon thoughts. So I think on Saturday, Bungie kind of did a deep dive or like a reveal of Marathon, showing off some gameplay, a trailer, explaining some of the systems like that. I talked about it a little bit on Summon Sign with Lockmort and Jimmy, but Gene, you had some thoughts about Marathon, so you wanted to get them out there.
Yeah, real quick, what did you think about it though?
I think it looks okay.
Sign, so.
I think I'm a little more positive on it than most people because I don't know. It's kind of what I expected, and I'm okay with that. I think the idea of a extraction shooter from Bungie sounds very appealing to me. Of course, it's one of those things of I need to play it to make sure it's cool and good. Actually, I have no idea. But it's hard for me to judge it too harshly yet when it's still 6 months away and I haven't played it yet. But I understand the hesitation from people big time. But I'm gonna try. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Yeah. Okay, well, pretty much everything you said, jury's out on how it plays and what it is, right? And there is a lot of good faith in Bungie. Still, there's a lot of talk about how all the big Bs of the video game industry have fallen off, Bethesda, Blizzard, BioWare, and of course Bungie. But I do think Bungie is probably the best out of all of them in that, yeah, Destiny 2 has fallen off and there's a lot of layoffs or whatever like that, but we haven't really gotten a new product from Bungie that is an absolute failure. Like, this sucks,
Yeah, people liked the last expansion, I know, for Destiny 2. What was it called? The Final Shape or something?
People still like Destiny 2. So and Destiny 2 is still their last product, right? And it's still pretty good. That said, there are a lot of people who are comparing this to Concord, right? And I think that is obviously not true. This is not going to be Concord 2. Bungie is not going to make a that is that much of a failure. It's Bungie. They're good. Right. Even if the game sucks, people will show up and buy it, right? I do think that there is some merit to how it compares to Concord, and not in the art style. And I'm definitely one of those people who loves the art style. I love it, and I think it's cool. It's a huge reason why I'm disappointed that it's not more of a single player experience, is because I wish I could just like live in that world without having to worry about, oh my god, I gotta get all the loot and shit, like fucking like everyone's gunning for me and I gotta get out. Like, it's such a hurried pace for extraction shooters in such a lovely world that's so disappointing that we can't just like chill there, right?
Sure.
On top of that, though, here's where I get, so it's not the art style at all. This clears Concord's art style completely. Even if you disagree, that if you think that it looks ugly or whatever like that, it's a lot more unique than Concord, which was like a nothing art style, right? Here's where I get the Concord vibes. They took an hour to explain what the video game is.
I didn't watch that. I just kind of watched some of the gameplay footage, so I didn't see any of that.
It really, if you have to watch the whole thing to really set in like that, I feel uncomfortable vibes. Because why are they taking so long to talk about the game?
Yeah.
When you see a video game trailer, it lasts for like a minute and 30 seconds. And they show you exciting things that happen. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Oh my god. You can just fucking, dig down and dig everywhere and everything explosive. That's the hook. Right, Mario Kart World. This is a Mario Kart that's open world. Whatever, that's a hook. Dusk Bloods this is a Bloodborne style multiplayer game. That's a hook. Battlefield, explosive terrain. That's the hook. What's the hook of Marathon? That's where the Concord vibes set in. When you watch the Concord presentations, you're like, what is the hook of Concord, though? So far, the only hook of Marathon is, man, that art style looks really interesting.
Yeah. To me, I guess, with Concord, to me, the hook of that game was like, hey, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on narrative in this game with weekly cinematics. But unfortunately for them, no one gave a shit about that.
No.
With Marathon, it's like, to me, for what's important, I'm like, is the shooting good? Are the game mechanics going to be good? That's what I'm really curious about. So I think the art style is a good thing because it does separate itself from others on the market. And what I think is interesting about this genre or this game, Gene, is that I feel like it's going to be the most accessible and easy to get into extraction shooter. Tarkov has like a strong barrier of entry in the sense like it has its own launcher and everything. It's not really on consoles.
Yep.
So this will be on everything, and I think it'll be very easy for people to get into. But
Yep.
it just depends. Is it going to have that hook there to keep people coming back for more? Which I have no idea yet.
We don't know because I don't think that they really did anything that interesting with the genre other than the art hook and like I guess some of the nitty gritty mechanics, but that they took an hour to explain, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it needs. I just watched like that. There's like a 5 or 10 minute video of them explaining what it is. I guess like showing you what you'll be doing in the game. But if you're talking about like an hour long presentation, talking about like you don't need to make it that long.
Like you listen to these developers, and it absolutely like you can tell that the people who made Concord came from Bungie because they all fucking talk the same. they all talk about, well, the player motivation over here is like this, and it's like you just said 2 minutes of nothing. You understand that? It's like you just said a bunch of buzzwords, like you're pitching to the audience, and it's like, no, you're not fucking pitching right now. You're talking about the gameplay. Stop pitching. Like,
yeah,
that's what these presentations sounds like. It sounds like we're in a meeting and you're pitching an idea for us to fund you. But it's like, no, you made the game. Just explain what the game is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where my frustration comes in, and that's where I get the strong Concord vibes. It's like, why can't you just show the game and show how fun it looks?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
Right.
I have a question about when they're kind of doing these talks. Was this after they showed the gameplay stuff, or was this before?
No, they fucking talk first, bro.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. That's the kind of stuff you do after if people want to know more.
Oh,
you don't start with that. No,
they spend like 10 minutes talking first, and then they show you the gameplay, and you're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
And then they spend like the next 30 minutes like talking some more, and then they show like almost unedited clips of Dr. Lupo and my boy Hidden Xperia over on YouTube just playing the game, and they're like, it's like so slow. It's not even edit. It's barely edited. You're just seeing these guys kind of play the game in a very boring way.
Yeah,
and it's like, man, what is going on here?
It sounds like a bad presentation. Then
what is this presentation? And there was a live studio audience that felt so fake and cheap.
Yeah,
and
that's really bad.
They're all cheering the devs on in the studio. And I assume that the live studio audience are the creators that they invited last weekend. So it's like, like my buddy Skill Up going woo like that. But
yeah.
It just came off really, really weird. So I totally like, for people who are comparing to Concord and not the art style, I totally feel you. Actually, I'm a little worried about. I am worried about Marathon as well.
I wasn't as turned off when I saw.
Also, what you said there about Marathon being the more accessible, like front-facing version, more consumer-friendly version of Tarkov, right? When you listen to the interviews, they actually kind of know that already, and that might be the sell right there. Is that they know that they haven't really made anything new. Is that we're just trying to make a more accessible Tarkov. We're hoping that this is going to be the Fortnite to PUBG, basically, right?
Sure, yeah.
Where PUBG was not that accessible and mostly on PC or whatever like that, and then the art style is just kind of grimy and like not all there. And it's like Fortnite had this bubbly art style, really accessible, playable everywhere, playable on your fucking phones back in the day, right? Before Apple and Google kicked them off. So it really does feel like that's, I hate to say live service again, but they're trying to become the Fortnite of extraction shooters for sure.
Yeah.
And that's and one other thing though is that, like, even me, I've always said this. When you try to make a product for everyone, you actually make your product for no one, right? You're trying to appeal to every single part of the audience, the quote unquote modern audience, Micahs, if you will. but more than Micah, Micah's out here playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, so we're obviously joking here.
I'm such a fucking casual, right?
Yeah, what a casual scum.
Casual. And then meanwhile, I'm like, oh my god, Kingdom Come Deliverance! I can't believe you have to fucking read through this. And she beat it on the Switch, right? So we're obviously joking here, but like the quote unquote modern audience Micah's out there. If you just try to make a game for everybody, you're gonna make a game for no one, right?
Yeah.
Like I believe that, and I think we all believe that, and it's a good thing to say, right? So here comes Bungie not making a game for everyone.
Yeah.
Bungie says, you know what? You want a single player, story, narrative driven first person game? Sorry. we have a product for you for that. It came out in 2010. It's called Halo Reach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last single player campaign that we made, and you can go play that if you want. But we're not making a game for you, Gene. You know,
right?
And so a lot of this whole marathon thing, where it's like, oh, marathon's not good, and marathon doesn't seem that exciting, it's me coming to terms with my own principles. Basically, it's like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I should be commending Bungie for not making a game for everyone. You know, maybe Destiny 2 is that game still for them. You know, and then we're also seeing reports that there's like a lot of the team is still on the Destiny team. And it's like about 300 people on the marathon team. That's not massive. That's huge. That's a big team.
Yeah.
It's a AAA team, but it's not like Call of Duty size for Bungie for Marathon, right? So it's like, okay, well, maybe Marathon really is a smaller project, and I can just not play Marathon.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be too mad about it, you know? It's like, maybe Bungie just isn't making games for me anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another thing.
Things change, companies change.
They're just not making games for me anymore. They're not interested in making a single player game, or they don't have the capability, you know, because they laid off all their fucking writers, you know. So I don't know. It's like, oh shit, well, we can't make a story because we have nobody to make stories here. So it's like, oh well, why don't we just fucking make a strategy shooter? So it's like, ultimately, Bungie is not a company or studio that is making games for me anymore. That's where I'm kind of
that's totally fair,
coming around to. And like when I watched Marathon, I was like, yeah, they're not fucking talking to me at all at this point.
Yeah, I'm personally, I don't really care about Destiny at all, so I'm happy to see them doing something different. And this looks cool to me. It's like extraction shooters are something I would like to try out more of, just because like I don't really want to bother with Tarkov. It's just a little too much for me. So. Seeing Bungie and like their gameplay, I think they have really great gameplay and how they kind of put it into the genre. I'm looking forward to it, but like we have no idea if it's going to be good or not. I don't know. I don't play it. I hope it's good. And the pricing structure is interesting. It won't be free. It'll be paid. So we'll see. I don't think it'll be full price game. I'm going to guess it's going to be 40 or 50. Concord was like 40 or 50 , right?
It was $40, yeah.
I think this will be something similar because there'll be microtransactions and shit.
I bet you it'll be $50.
You think it'll be $15 now? That Bungie tax? Yeah. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, the Trump tariff tax, but also I do think that they probably believe that the game is worth more than Concord. You know,
probably.
Which is crazy because Concord has way more characters.
Yeah,
it had way more maps.
That's like a bad thing in that game. I don't want.
Although Marathon, yeah, I know it's a bad thing. Like, no, stop making characters, Concord. No, stop. We don't want to see anymore. You know?
Like, how is each one worse than the last?
Yeah.
But you know, and then people are complaining that Marathon's gonna only have 3 maps. Like, guys, we don't know how big these maps are.
They already said there's gonna be more maps.
Yeah, and the maps might be huge, anyways, right? So
yeah, I think that's 16 players per map, so I assume it'll be pretty sizable.
That's pretty big. Yeah. So I don't know. I do wish that they had some kind of solo queue type thing going on, but they don't. You know,
you can play solo, but it's just like
there's no solo queue though. There's no game balance for solo. Though.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's like Apex. Apex was very much 3 players only. Yeah. That's something I could see them adding later on down the line. I'm not exactly sure how Tarkov does that kind of stuff or whatever modes they'll add, but I totally get why this game is. People aren't interested in it. Makes sense to me.
I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, it's the same reason why people look at Duskbloods and they're like, "Fuck," you know.
Yeah.
And I'm a little frustrated with that because it's like, look, let Miyazaki cook. You know, if he is really dedicated to this whole multiplayer thing that he's got going on, then let's see what he's got. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe I should do the same for Bungie. You know.
Sure.
And that's why I said, you know what, Bungie hasn't been that bad over the years. You know, they've been laying people off. And they killed factions too, but you know, the meme anyways. The meme of that, but you know, they haven't been that bad. So it's like, okay, well, I'm excited for Marathon. I will say though, hot take, everyone really loved that short that was animated by the Love, Death and Robots and Spider-Verse guy. Mm-hmm. There was a whole short film that was like 8 minutes long or whatever, and voiced by Ben Starr, our good friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking pretentious ass fucking film, dude. Fuck, dude. It's Ben Starr reciting Ozymandias. Like, so this is only like the 7,000th edgy media that's quoting the poem Ozymandias. Look upon my works and despair. And then you see all these sad robots wandering around, dying and being sad. And it's like, I'm making a jerk off motion. It's like, this is so fucking pretentious, dude. But I'm trying to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt, right? Bungie did do the quote unquote Believe campaign for Halo 3, right? That had like fake war veterans like reminiscing about the Great War with Master Chief and everything. Right?
Yeah.
That was pretty pretentious too. But that worked because that was operating on like the broad strokes of like humanity and heroism and saving people. Whereas the Bungie Marathon short film was about just jerking off with Ben Starr.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt.
Okay. Micah, do you have any thoughts about Marathon?
Well, see, this was the perfect section for me to take a little candy corn break. So don't tell Colin if anybody saw me eating candy corn back.
Oh
here.
yeah. I saw that he's upset that you eat and I write stories, and it's like, dude.
He said he respects it though. He understands what we're doing here. The shows are fine, but no. Extraction shooter, not for me. I haven't really played anything online in a while. But I like regular online games. Give me team deathmatch, capture the flag. This is not what I want.
Boomer modes, yeah.
Just give me some fucking domination, okay? Hard point. Like, that's what I want.
You just want Call of Duty.
Kill confirmed.
King of the Hill,
basically,
yeah, maybe, yeah. Spec Ops.
And Gears Online. I fucking love Gears Online. But a
horde mode, right?
Oh, that too, yeah. So, but this... Yeah, this is not for me, but I totally respect what you're saying, Gene, about it is a bummer when you have a developer you really love and like you're like, oh, what's their next project? And it's not for you. But it's also just like, it's okay to just say, yeah, it's not for me. I have been disappointed the past couple, like with Assassin's Creed, the direction it went. It's okay to just say, it's just not for me anymore. And I'm not saying they're bad games or anything. I'm just saying like, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And that's just, you just got to do it. It does suck for longtime fans of Bungie, for example. If you're like, maybe this is the first time you're like, man, I'm really not feeling this. But that's okay. I loved the Destiny 1 and I have been mad at them ever since they got rid of Dinklebot. And I'll never forgive them for that. So I've been done with them for years. You can come join me. But it is, and talking about Dusk Bloods, because it's like it is a disappointment if you're like, man, you wait years for the developers to announce their next project and you're not interested in it, and then you don't know how many more years it'll be till they make a game that you are interested in. Like, I completely am with you on the disappointment that you might feel, but it's also just like, there's so much to play. There's so much to play, dude. Like, there's a million online games to choose from. It's all right to just say this one's not for me and keep moving. It's what I'm doing.
Do you guys remember when they announced Metroid Prime Federation Force for 3DS?
Oh my God,
everyone was like, what the fuck? Where's Metroid?
That was rough times.
I do remember that.
That was rough times. Funny. Wow, gosh. So we're in that with Bungie right now, basically,
Oh, hold on now. I wouldn't say it's quite as bad as that.
No, it's just
Federation
it's worse,
Force.
even.
Okay,
it's worse actually for me and Micah. Yeah.
Oh no, guys, come on, man.
I mean, you have old people like me who Googled what is an extraction shooter, and then I immediately was like, oh, that doesn't sound fun at all. I'm just old. I'm too old.
Yeah,
we're older than you. Me and Gene are both older than you.
Quite
a bit.
Not in spirit. Like, dude,
That's
like
true.
You're not clamoring for another Battlefield Bad Company. You're never like on board with me for that. So like, I've been asking for that for years. And you forgot all about it.
I just want Battlefield to be decent.
Young hip ways. Battlefield sucks. It's Battlefield Bad Company that was good.
No way. The old Battlefields were so good. Are you kidding me, Micah?
They're not very. I don't like the vehicles. They're awful.
That's
and you got to choose
a core component.
Be like
of
a medic and shit. It sucks, dude. Like
you just want Call of Duty.
I do.
Yeah, just play Call of Duty then, Micah.
The Battlefield campaigns, like Battlefield 3 campaign, was good. That was fun. I liked that.
Okay.
But like Bad Company, bring that back. All right. But they won't.
I'm surprised they didn't bring it back, but
I'm fucking furious that they haven't brought it back. Like, this is an outrage. Yeah. Just make one. For the love of God, just make one. All right. You'll be printing money. It doesn't even have to be good. All right, the recent like Payday game, that wasn't good. It made money because people want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've been fucking disappointed as shit.
They've had a lot of misses with Battlefield.
They know, that's what I'm saying, but they still make money.
Yeah.
So just try. It doesn't even have to be good. I'll just be happy if you tried. Yeah. I'm like a parent. All right, it doesn't even have to be very good, but if you make a new bad company, I'll just be happy you tried. Yeah. All right.
Bad companies for Xbox 360 people like you, Micah.
Yeah.
That's old shit. They're trying to get the newer kids, I guess, now. I don't know.
But well, it's not working. It's not working.
Oh, it's not
everyone
working.
knows Battlefield sucks.
Yeah, the last one was not good. When it came out, at least.
Still all right. Not.
Yeah, so to cope with the lack of single player Bungie games, I just went back to play Halo Reach, basically. Or
there you go.
Halo Infinite. I actually never finished it on PC, so I've been playing that too.
Oh.
Having a great time. I love Halo Infinite.
Yeah, Halo Infinite's pretty good. Yeah, I had fun playing it. Bad boss fights. But other than that, pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's end the show with some comments from the audience. If you guys want to write into the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. I post a thread for this show every Sunday calling for your submissions, so keep an eye out there. We do that for all of our shows, by the way, so if you want to write into any of them, keep an eye out. All right, this is from Lunamura. Hey, guys. I've been tuned into Sacred Symbols and Defining Duke for a while now, but I am a new Punching Up listener, and this is my first time writing in. Well, welcome. Do you think companies will view the Switch 2 as a way to give games that underperformed a second chance? Jesus. Do you think companies will only port their successful games? Also, what ports in general would you like to see the most for Switch 2? I'd personally love to see Dead Space Remake ported to Switch 2. It's a great game that sadly underperformed and deserves a second chance. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and thanks for the great content. Switch 2 is a great way to give some games a second life, I would say. We're getting a second life with Elden Ring. Not that Elden Ring needs it, but it's getting another shot, and I think that's a great time to port a lot of old games. We saw this is the Nintendo way. You got a lot of old games getting ported to their new system. We saw it on the Wii U a lot. Didn't pay off, though, with like Batman Arkham Armored Edition and Assassin's Creed 3. Did they announce any Ubisoft games for Switch 2? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
No, I feel like they didn't. Yeah.
It seems strange. Ubisoft's always about... I mean, their house is burning down right now, so maybe that's why. I'm not really sure.
This is a great question.
Yeah. What would you guys like to see ported there?
Dead Space Remake is an excellent choice.
Yeah, that is a great pick.
I would love to see that. And that would look great on the HDR screen, the handheld. Although it would look better on the OLED, unfortunately. But, that's what you get the Steam Deck OLED for, which looks fucking fantastic, the Dead Space Remake on it. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is already happening.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Final Fantasy 16, all the Final Fantasies, every Square Enix game. I would say Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, here we go again with you guys. Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. just sell 1 million more, and then we got a franchise cooking, baby.
That's right.
And Mad Max, of course.
Yeah.
That game. The game that came out at the same time as fucking Phantom Pain and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's off the top of my head right now.
I was kind of surprised. Well, I don't know, maybe not surprised, but none of the Mario Kingdom Battle games seem to be getting a new version or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would think they would do
that would work so great with the mouse too.
Yeah, I think they would do that with the second game because I don't think it's sold nearly as well as the first. So maybe another shot or Rayman or something like that coming over there. Yeah, Micah, what would you like to see get ported over to Switch 2? Some older game.
I mean, top of my list is Final Fantasy 16, because otherwise I'm just like, when am I going to play this? So put it on Switch. Let me play it on handheld, please.
Yeah.
No, Gene mentioned Sleeping Dogs is on the list. I did just buy an Xbox copy to play on my G Cloud, so I'll get to it. But if they put it on Switch, I'd support that in a heartbeat. See, when I think of like old games I want to go back and replay, half the time though I'm like, well, it's backwards compatible on Xbox, so I don't really need it on a Switch. But like, put Max Payne 3 on Switch too. Just do it.
Oh,
Star Wars
agree.
Outlaws.
that
was
game.
coming
Oh
out on
yeah,
Switch.
you're right. That is the
I totally forgot
Ubisoft
about
game.
that. And that is a game that underperformed. And Ubisoft is like, fuck, we got to make some fucking money on the Star Wars game.
You were right, Gene. Yeah,
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, I totally see. Even I forgot about Star Wars Outlaws, and I fucking played that game. You know,
I played it too. I beat it. Yeah.
yeah. The fucking memory hole just gone from my brain. Just, I barely remember a goddamn thing there from that fucking game.
Yeah.
Not a bad game. Good game.
No,
You should try it out if you love Star Wars. But Jesus Christ, it does not stay with you.
Right. Definitely. They need to put Kingdom Hearts on Switch too. All of them.
Oh, 1,000%.
Not cloud versions. Actual the game. Put it on there. It would be great to have Resident Evil games on there. We talked about before. Lots of stuff.
Oh, multiverses.
Well, yeah, that game's coming back. Yeah,
the game fucking flopped.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like, no,
dead.
put it on the Switch. Put it against a real deal. Let's see what happens.
I think the game's just dead completely.
Game's dead. Yeah, it's fucking dead.
But yeah, I don't know. You can put
Starfield is a huge one.
Starfield would be interesting on Switch. Yeah, Skyrim's going to be on there probably. So we'll see.
Oblivion Remake. Hell yeah.
Oblivion Remake would be cool. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. This is from Sweet Chan Music. What's up, Punchers? Just wondering about your guys' opinion between the Switch 2 and Steam Deck OLED. I'm pretty much an all handheld player, but I always have a hard time between the two ecosystems. I don't know where I should dedicate all my money towards. Maybe the Steam Deck for everything else and Nintendo Switch 2 for the exclusives only. Just wondering your guys' opinion. Thanks for everything you guys do. Gene, I took this because I'm like, oh, this is a perfect question for Gene, as he plays on both often.
I love both.
Yeah.
Look, if you're somebody who enjoys tinkering with their games, get the Steam Deck. I love being able to change the frame rate of the game, to even make the battery life last longer, or just change the look of the game. You can change the resolutions. You can add all kinds of apps and other hacks to just make it look better. You can have people are always bitching about like the Switch doesn't have any kind of like interesting home screen. You can have a whole animated home screen on the Steam Deck. Banners that are all like movies in the background. You can choose your own artwork for your games. You can choose how the Steam Deck homepage looks like. You can choose the boot up animation of the Steam Deck. It's super customizable, and if you're somebody who loves to customize their phone, like Colin says that he doesn't even have like his own phone background. He just uses the default iPhone background. So the Steam Deck is not for someone like Colin who doesn't give a shit about customization, who won't even put his fucking dogs on the phone. What the fuck, dude? It's your dogs, bro. Like
Yeah, I have two different Vegeta images. I have one for the lock screen and one for the background, but I haven't changed it in over 10 years. So
yeah, but Colin doesn't have the Catherine girl on his phone, surprisingly.
Thankfully.
Sorry, Mike. I know that I just had to bring
it's
that
for
up.
other people. Imagine we're at a restaurant. He's like, oh, 1 second. They like go to pay and the waitress sees that. I mean, like you can't have other people seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be cool with it, but I can't bring that phone out in public.
Yeah, but my Steam Deck is super customized, and it's a lot of fun to just tinker with that thing. And you don't have to wait to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on a handheld. You can just play it right now, and it runs really well. Final Fantasy 16, if Michael wanted to play that, you can run a terrible version of it on the Steam Deck, but you can, but that's the thing though. I can drop the Steam Deck's resolution down to 480p, and then Final Fantasy 16 will run pretty good once it looks like fucking a PS2 game,
Mm-hmm.
But that's awesome that it has that flexibility. So I mean, that said though, and I said this last week, once Final Fantasy 16 does come out on Switch 2, you'll just have one that works well, as opposed to me just jamming it into Steam Deck trying to force it to work,
Yeah, well,
Dragon's Dogma 2 doesn't work at all on the Steam Deck, like terribly. I've been trying to play that thing, but it keeps crashing, and it's like, this is not it,
Yeah.
But if they ever make a Dragon's Dogma 2 for the Switch 2, it's going to run a lot better. So yeah, I do think getting both, honestly, is the best path forward.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the happiest way forward in terms of games. Because you're going to get a lot of the PlayStation games on Steam Deck anyways too.
Yeah. it sounds like Steam Deck's the way to go, unless you really want to play those Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah.
Because you can't really, legally, you can't play it on Steam Deck. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
And also, like, I wanted to play Xenoblade Chronicles on the Steam Deck, right? So I tried to emulate Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Steam Deck, and it is a fucking pain in the ass. It is exactly the nightmare scenario that Micah fears in terms of like I don't know how to do this. Why can't this fucking game just work? Kind of deal. That's exactly what happens with Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is like you need a texture pack and you need to download this and you need to go into the text files and change all this shit. And it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna play Xenoblade Chronicles X on the PC. I know that it looks cool like in 60 FPS, but that's a lot of work, and I can just play the actual game on the Switch.
Yeah.
If you want to deal with all that shit, that's fine. Like Valve themselves have called me a more sophisticated user because I do have emulation and I do tinker with a lot of stuff. And then like if you are like hardcore emulating or you're going into the text files to change things, then you are like at the 0.001% of users of Steam Deck. So that's why like it's always stupid whenever like these viral tweets are going around saying, by the way, the Steam Deck exists and it's $450 or $349, and it's like the Steam Deck is barely sold.
You're right.
Millions of people don't want this. Millions of people are quote unquote like modern audience Micah. Sorry, I keep bringing that up. But there's a lot of people like Micah, including myself. Like there's a big part of Micah in me. That sounds awful. Micah and I share similar characteristics in terms of not wanting to have a fussy video game experience, right? And I can be fussy a little bit, and it's fun to do that. I have Silent Hill 2, like Perfect Edition or whatever, on my Steam Deck, and it runs just fine. But I had to tinker with that a little bit. I don't want too much tinkering, so that's pretty much where it's at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess Steam Deck is a recommendation for most things.
Yeah, for most things. But Switch 2 will come out and get the Switch 2. Get the Switch 2 when there's a game that you want on it. That's
if there's nothing on it that you want,
that's always the advice. Get the console once there's a game that you finally want on it, and you think it's worth it, and hey, you get everything else too. People are always about, oh my god, $80 game, $100 game. You know what? Fucking Bloodborne cost me $500 to buy because I bought PS4 for Bloodborne.
Yeah.
No. Fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 cost me $400 to buy because I bought the Xbox One X for the 4K version of Red Dead 2. So yeah, just get the Switch 2 when you know you want games on it. The great thing about the Steam Deck is that like every other game is on it.
Everything's there.
It has the biggest exclusives library. It has the biggest library period because it's on Steam.
Yep.
So.
Okay, let's see here. This is from Jamie. Hey Bunchers, I was thinking of a way for Nintendo to sell Wind Waker on Switch natively, and the first thing that came to mind was having the Wii U port with the extra dungeons that may have been cut from the original, or perhaps a Wind Waker Master Quest. This would create value and a difference between the NSO version and a possible native version that Brad seems to think we'll never get. What are your thoughts on Nintendo selling Wind Waker down the line with extras, or do y'all have another game in mind that could use quality of life updates that Nintendo could sell us again? Thanks, Jamie from New York. Well, Jamie, they've already used those dungeons that got cut for Zelda games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not happening. I highly doubt they'll do more dungeons. I think we talked about this, though, Gene. And I think this was on a story that Nintendo kind of said, like, hey, that doesn't mean just because Wind Waker's on the GameCube service doesn't mean we won't get Wind Waker HD. Because there are for some differences between them, particularly the visuals. There's some quality of life updates. So they could do that still. But I don't know. Are there any other games you think that we should get with some quality of life updates that you'd love to see on Switch 2? Maybe a Pikmin Micah or something?
Well, they're fine the way they are. This, like the Pikmin games you play on Switch 1, they're fine. They're fine. They got
There's nothing they could do? There's nothing they could do to make them better?
I think they're quite nice games, Bradley. I think they're good. I don't know. You got Pikmin 1 through 4.
Yeah.
What else? Like what else could I ask for from them?
Know.
They're fine. Do you want Zelda Echoes of Wisdom? You want it in HD so you can see every hair on Zelda's head, and it's like they're fine the way it is.
No,
It's all
it's
good.
not fine the way it is. We
It
know
was
this.
fine the way. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play Breath of
Modern
the Wild on
audience,
Switch
Micah,
1.
once again.
There you go.
I'm getting that Breath of the Wild copy. I'm putting it in the Switch Lite,
Yeah,
and I can't wait to play it.
What a fool.
And I'm not even gonna get it until after Switch 2 comes out, probably. So.
Yeah.
But it'll be excuse
that would
to
be
use the Lite.
heinous if you had a Switch 2 and you just played the Switch 1 version on a Switch Lite.
Well, I might.
I know.
I might out of spite, Brad.
You're
no, like I
disgusting
really.
human.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like improvements, like Yoshi's Crafted World. It's perfect the way it is. It's fine. You know, what could I make better? Like, you want more levels?
Yeah.
Like I'm actually like the Kirby in the Lost World, and they're like, oh, we're adding more to it. And I'm like, don't
Why
do
not?
that.
Why not?
I don't want it. It's just not what I wanted. This is you're just asking the wrong person. Because like, what do I want? I want the games to be exactly the way they were.
That's right.
And don't just leave them alone.
That's why we're not getting achievements, everybody. It's because of Micah.
It's all my fault, and I'm so sorry. They heard me say that they didn't have to do it. They're like, she said we didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
She said she'd be cool with it. I don't know, man. It's partly because you don't know until you see it. Like when, for example, they say that, they fixed the boat parts on Wind Waker for Wii U, but it's like, well, I wouldn't have expected them to actually do that. So if I wouldn't have asked for it because I didn't think they'd actually do it.
Yeah.
So what else would I want them to do? You know what? Bring Kirby Triple Deluxe. That needs to come forward. You gotta bring that forward from 3DS. And they're already doing Planet Robobot. So that's it.
Okay.
But don't make it better. Don't touch it.
Don't do anything to it.
Don't touch Kirby.
Don't upscale it. Don't do anything.
No. I want it exactly the same.
Yeah.
Hey, Pikmin would be an interesting one to try and bring forward. It's very dependent on these two vertical screens. Like it's a very tall game, but I think they could do it. They could do something with it.
Okay. Gene, is there anything on your wish list?
Not really. No. I mean, other than the ones we've all talked about already, pretty much. Yeah.
I think of great examples of games is like Super Mario 3D World, where they added Bowser's Fury, which is like substantial new content and great content. So they could do stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, Nintendo's not above adding new content and charging appropriately for that. And that's when Nintendo was good, when it's like, oh yeah, Bowser's Fury, I'll fucking buy 3D World again,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everyone keeps making fun of Skyward Sword, and it's like not understanding that Skyward Sword is a top to bottom remake in terms of like controls and everything like that. That takes a lot of work. So
yeah, 60 FPS, thank God.
Yeah, 60 FPS. Yeah, that was a huge deal too. So
yeah,
dude, I can't wait till Tears of the Kingdom in 60 FPS.
I know, it's gonna be sick. Okay, this is from Necrom Oddboy. This is right in our wheelhouse. Hey, Punching Up crew. So, which Nintendo character has the biggest bush? Samus, Peach, Zelda, Dixie Kong, with a nice landing strip by default. Perhaps Isabelle or the wonderful Pauline. Thanks for all the wonderful content and keeping this podcast about the most family-friendly platform, borderline sus. Borderline sus? We are very sus. All right, Micah. So we all know about the Demi Moore thing going on. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I educated the audience about me more.
And me.
You didn't know. I'm just still shocked that you'd never seen it. Did you Google it?
No, I've seen it. I didn't know the reference. I didn't know what the hell you were saying, though.
Got it.
Like
biggest Nintendo bush, Daisy. She seems like the type that she'd be wearing a bikini and there'd be some peeking out of the edges. That's like Daisy's MO, right? There.
This comment made me really uncomfortable when they wrote Dixie Kong. And I was like, dude, come on, man. Stop that. Stand down.
Yeah, no, that's a firm stand down. But yeah, I'm thinking Daisy.
Okay.
Pauline is a city slicker. She's not. No.
Sure.
No.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's not that.
Okay. Gene, do you even want to answer this?
I don't want to answer this.
Okay. I don't want to either. All right.
Oh my God, you set me up.
We got you.
See, and now, all right. Well, I'll give a second answer for our listener. Rosalina could get away with it because she's blonde. Would catch the light differently. So that's another one that she might be a bit lazy about it. Like Rosalina could be a bit lazy about it.
Sure. All right, final writing. Here we go from Ding Dong. Hello, Donkey Punchers. With the Switch 2 on the horizon, I wanted to see if y'all could offer some advice or even make an episode about what new or returning Nintendo fans should be picking up. It'd be great to hear thoughts on how to buy games now with upgrade packs and all, what services are worth it like Nintendo Online and Expansion Pack, and what accessories are must-haves like the Pro Controller for someone jumping in for the first time since the N64 days. Thanks for all the wonderful content and always keep pounding those holes. Wow. You know what? This is something maybe we could do close to the Switch 2 launch and just kind of like our recommendations to get you back into the ecosystem since Switch 2 is backwards compatible and all the online services like Ding Dong here. If they're coming, they haven't been playing Nintendo since the N64 days. There's a lot of content for you to get in there. We can make some recommendations. So I'm not opposed to that, but you guys will have to remind me because I'll totally forget about this. So keep that in mind, everybody. I think that could be fun, a fun little exercise for us to do. And it'd be a good way to send off the Switch and bury it forever.
I'll still be playing it.
I know.
Well, I mean, like I ordered Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar for Switch, and I'll just play it over there.
Yeah.
Story of Seasons. How much better could it look?
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you going to... Okay, if you get Story of Seasons, the game cart, Switch 1 game cart, and you have a Switch 2 console... Are you going to play it on your Switch Lite or the Switch 2?
The Switch Lite.
Okay.
What am I going to throw the Switch Lite in the trash?
Yes.
All right. Like, no, it's so lightweight. You don't understand. The Switch Lite is a dream to play on. Okay. So, and besides, you got to have your second horse saddled up and ready to go. All right. Battery starts running low. You switch over. But no, I'm definitely still going to use the Switch Lite. It's kind of my favorite Switch now. Okay. Because I'm probably going to trade in the old one to see what I can get for it.
Yeah, well, your old one's really fucked up. Yeah.
It's not really fucked up. It's a little fucked up.
It's fucked up. If Micah thinks it's a little fucked up, it's really fucked up. I remember the story about her crack on the screen and all that shit. Oh, it's fine.
It was scratched. All right. The dog walked across it a few times. I mean, GameStop, it's up to them if they want it or not. I'm not going to shove it down the throat. But if they're like, we'll give you $50 for it, it's sold.
Yeah, $50.
You got 8 years out of it. I just don't need 3 of these things in my house. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
And you know what, Brad? Just to spite you, I'll play Breath of the Wild on the original Switch, not even the Switch Lite. The one with the really loud fan.
Hey, dude, you're just ruining it for yourself.
I think it'll be the best experience, Brad.
Ignorance is bliss. The best way to play Blue-pilled Micah, as always. All right, everybody. We're going to get the hell out of here. Micah, Gene, thank you guys for joining me. Before we go, any final thoughts or anything like that, or should we get the hell out of here?
You know, I don't have anything today.
Nothing today.
Yeah, no. I told you all about the barbecue podcast that I was so excited about. I bothered you with that for several minutes, so I'm good.
You didn't bother me about it, but I'm going to pay my taxes now. I'm going to take those to the post office. Hooray!
I gotta say, the best part about being married is I don't have to worry about taxes anymore. Colin handles all of it. I give him a piece of paper with like some stuff written on it that he asked for, and then I don't have to do anything else. It's great. It's excellent.
I have a tax guy, thankfully. But
number one thing about being a wife, though, not having to deal with that.
Yeah, totally.
I use TurboTax.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I had to pay their stupid ass. I don't. Yeah, you know what? Like doing this made me realize I can do my own fucking taxes. So like next year, I'm definitely gonna just do it.
Yeah, just do it yourself. Yeah, if you're confident.
Paying this turbo scam.
Yeah, I don't do TurboTax.
I mean, dude, they're the reason why our taxes are still so complicated. And other countries just tell you this is how much you owe. And in America, they're like, you have to do all these puzzles to figure it out. And if you're wrong, you go to jail.
Yeah, just fucking tell them. What the fuck are you doing? Just collecting money? You know, again, this is why people become Republicans, you know? Because it sounds fucking stupid, you know, in the government, you know?
Yeah.
I get why Doge is just firing everyone in government, you know? Yeah. It's stupid too, but you know, I understand why people might cheer that on, you know?
Yeah. All right. Anyways. We're gonna get out of here, everybody.
Bookending this whole fucking weird podcast with
taxes,
with politics and taxes. It makes sense to be Republican. Yeah. Anyways,
I remembered something though. I saw the Rizzler in another commercial. Because I get ads on YouTube. I don't have YouTube Premium, right? And the Rizzler was in another commercial. It was something like Airbnb or like Vrbo, or something like that.
Whoa.
And he's just in it, like in like a montage of people hanging out in homes, and he's just in there.
That's crazy.
And I was like, wait a minute, that's the Rizzler. And they don't even like acknowledge it or him. He's just in it.
That's awesome.
And I was like, hell yeah, dude.
It's like Waldo.
Exactly.
God bless that little chubby kid. All right, we're out of here. See you next week, everybody. Goodbye. Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Bradley Ellis. My co-hosts are Gene Park and Micah Moriarty. The show is edited and produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Punching Up, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your kind contributions and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.